What's up, nerds, and welcome to Nerds Gone Rogue Radio, NGR Radio for short. This is episode 80, ladies. I am Matthew Keel. Alongside me, as always, is the Puff Daddy to my notorious B.I.G., Corey. How are you, sir?
Great. Who's listened to us for 80 episodes? Kyle, who let us go this long?
No one's telling us to stop.
True.
I figure we would listen if they told us to stop, because we'd be like, also, no, because like Bad Boy, we don't stop. I tell you that, we don't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah, that's Beastie Boys. Or Dave Chappelle, whichever way you want to go. Moose, how are you, sir? You're the third voice in the room.
I'm good. I'm doing good.
Cool. Awesome. And we have a special guest.
Yeah.
He is, Hardly Casual's been gone a little bit. But yeah, he's one of the two-headed beasts that sort of manned that ship, and I respect him for it. He's also a bit of a game developer, and he has a beard that I can only grow in a wet dream of myself. Kenny Hall, Mouth from the South. How are you, sir? Yes, I just did that.
Wow. All right. First off, let's set the record straight about the game development thing. Aspiring. I don't want to call myself something I'm not. But no, I'm good.
You posted in Giant Bomb's Facebook community that you have the Unity bug that clearly knows you know more than me. Basically, this is like Jason Statham in Snatch going, "You spent the summer in one."
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
So you know what? You're a game. It's basically someone said, "Yeah, I brewed a beer like 10 years ago." Well, you're a brewer now. Congratulations.
Anyways.
Kenny Hall, how are you, sir?
I'm good.
Glad to have you. It's been long enough. It's been a while.
For sure.
I'm so happy to have you back because I miss being jealous of your beard. I'll be real with you.
I can understand that.
So, what you been up to, man?
I've not been playing a lot, but also been playing a lot. If that makes sense. I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14.
Okay.
We put it that way.
So you're not playing many. You're playing a lot of one.
Yeah, and okay. I'm probably 96 hours into Persona 5, and I'm just at the last boss of it. So
That's my boy.
I plan on finishing that this next week and starting up Yakuza. How do you say it? Yakuza 5 or Yakuza 0?
Well, it depends. If you want to do it American, it's Yakuza. If you want to actually sort of pay respect to the Japanese saying, it's Yakuza.
Okay.
Yakuza.
Yakuza 0 is the one I'm starting with.
Good. Fantastic.
Yeah. But 14 is just such a fantastic MMO. I switched over to it from WoW about 5 or 6 months ago, and I always have a subscription to MMO. I'm like really bad about that. Like I can't go without an MMO in my life, so I always have a subscription going, and I'm always wasting $15 a month, even if I'm not playing it. But 14 just hooked me so much this time around. It's such an awesome game.
So your MMO is my vinyl, because I'm pretty sure I was at least for you.
Yeah, sure.
But
except his MMO collection is a bunch of credit card bills. Yeah. It's just a bunch of space on a hard drive somewhere. So
it's space on a wall. What do you want?
So me and one of my friends were talking about that the other day about like collecting stuff, like because everyone assumes I collect games because I play a lot of games. Mm-hmm. Like I'm the worst at buying things digital just because I don't want to have like stuff in my house. Like I want as little stuff in my house as possible. So if I can buy something digitally, I would much rather do that. Yeah. Like if Nintendo sold amiibos digitally, I would fucking buy some amiibos. But since you have to have a stupid little piece of plastic, I just don't want it. Mm-hmm. I'm sure like someone just died inside, but
see, the funny thing is like I was a big proponent of stuff. I do like just having stuff. And then I met my girlfriend whom I live with now, and I'm starting to find ways to sort of get rid of actually buying stuff. Now, I like vinyl, so that stuff probably isn't going away anytime soon. And she actually enjoys that side of it too.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to work ways to buying less physically.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Like
totally.
I feel like I think the only sort of thing I'm hanging on to is if I buy like a big release on Switch.
Yeah.
I will pick that up physically for the simple fact that I will probably turn that back into a game store, whatever you choose.
Yeah.
Use the store credit to buy something else.
Yeah.
So it's a way of kind of saving money.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Like the only thing I have a plethora of anymore is headphones and basses, like bass guitars. So like that's really the only two things I keep in my house. That's
that's in the dictionary under clean living. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
It's there.
Basses and headphones. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Kenny, bass in your face hall. Gotcha.
Man, I'm getting a lot of nicknames tonight.
I'll keep doing it. Corey, how are you,
sir? Man?
I'm good. You guys started talking about music, so I started zoning out. You know,
we didn't talk about music was not mentioned anywhere. We talked about vinyl.
I know, and then we started talking about bass guitars, and I'm like, oh,
okay, that was like 5 minutes apart, so you clearly blacked out. Like vinyl's his trigger word. If we say vinyl, he's
been drinking. He's been drinking.
Look,
speaking of which,
I'm just working on a few projects, and like I thought this was an okay time to kind of zone out. Now I'm back. I'm coming back in. I'm back in.
Sorry, I went to Mars for a second, but I'm back now, and I got T-shirts for everybody.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm working on. Those T-shirts.
I want T-shirts.
That'd be awesome.
But
Bruce, you good?
I'm good. Today's been a good day. I didn't have to go to work, so
didn't have to use the AK.
No, didn't have to use the AK.
All right, so let's. I mean, I assume we're here to talk about video games. I feel like it's safe to say we've been playing some video games.
Yeah,
Kenny, you said you've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14. Yep. Have you dipped into anything else at all?
No, not really. Like honestly, I picked up They Are Billions. It's a new Steam game. It's an RTS. It's kind of weird. It kind of plays like a mix of Age of Empires and a zombie survival horror game. So you basically build a base and you try to keep out the zombies at the end of each wave. And there are literally like millions of them on screen. So it's just it's pretty neat. It's it's hard as hell right now. Cool. They don't really have they have no difficulty settings really, so you're pretty much just going to get owned if you're not careful. But it's really cool.
Is this like an early access situation?
Yeah, it's early access right now. I think you can pick it up on Steam right now for like $24.99, or I think I picked it up on the sale a while back for $17. So it's a good little game though. It's like that developer has got some potential for sure. They've got a cool little thing that they're building.
So I got some Final Fantasy 14 questions for you. Is this the first time you've started it, or have you started previous and you're jumping back in?
I actually started back whenever AAR was released, The Realm Reborn.
Okay.
Back when
they rebooted it.
Yeah, back in 2.0.
Okay.
And I've played every expansion. Like I played through Heaven's Word, and then
Heaven's Word. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I stopped there, and then I came back for Stormblood. And coming back for Stormblood, it's probably hooked me more than any other time. Like I've got one character up to 70 now, and just some of the areas like I pretty much have about 75 gigs of images now from that game, just because like it's basically like a photo mode. Like you run around and just want to take a ton of pictures. So it's a really cool game. And
you're on PC with that?
Yeah. I upgraded my monitor last year to a 21:9 1440p, and man, it's really hard not to want to play anything on PC now.
Oh, because I started playing it on PS4.
Yeah,
when I got a PS4 because I'm a former WoW junkie.
Okay,
and I was looking for.
I've seen his veins. It's true.
And I liked a buddy of mine was playing it, so I already had somebody that would help me. I already had a guild, all that stuff. Like I had, like a support system, and then he was just like, yeah, and the game's awesome because, and I wanted to ask you this question, like all of your classes you only have one character.
Yeah.
You only need one character for all the classes. You just change gear.
Yeah.
And as a former WoW player, I fucking love that. Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, actually, like I kind of like the whole being able to level up whatever I want whenever I want, and like it's especially great for people like me who enjoy playing utility classes. Like I like playing DPS, but I like to play something that like does stuns or something like that that can help the group out. That's usually the type of stuff. Like I enjoy the more technical stuff, so that's usually kind of the route I go, and it's a ton of fun just because you can, if you don't feel like playing your main class, you can always jump on an alt and it's fine.
What is your main?
I play monk right now, so
awesome.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, they are. Or have you played the most recent versions?
No, so I had Heavensward and just didn't get enough time into it. I think because I was starting to play Bloodborne at the time. Yeah. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna try and platinum Bloodborne with Matt. Matt was helping me do that, and I'm like, you know what? I can't stop. Yeah, I can't stop, won't stop, and I'm like, I know I'm just wasting money on an MMO that I'm not gonna play. And it's not that I wasn't enjoying it. Yeah. Not that it's not a good MMO, but I stopped. I quit the payments, and it just lacked. And now I'm thinking of going back because of the new expansion. But it's awesome to try to go and have fun.
Paladins now are like probably the most sought after tanks just because they've been like buffed up and they're really, really powerful right now.
Nice.
So it'd be a good time for you to come back if that's what you're playing.
Yeah. I think I wanted to do that. And then my second class, the next class highest up, I think is a white mage because you get some of your healing spells as a paladin from that. And then I was probably going to go Dragoon.
Cool.
So
very cool.
But anyways.
So that's pretty much all I've been playing.
Okay.
Corey, what have you been playing lately?
Super Meat Boy and Celeste.
Yeah.
I was really ready to sit down and play. I got Persona 5 on the PSN flash sale, and I was downloading it, and I was like, oh yeah, Celeste came out. So I was like, well, that's downloading. I'm gonna get Celeste and play it. And Celeste is one of the best platformers I think I've ever played. I love that game.
Statement. And that's a bold statement.
It is. It's.
But see, you're already playing one of the best platformers you've ever played. You just don't know it as one of the best platformers you've ever played.
What, Super Meat Boy?
Hell yeah.
I agree. I totally agree with you.
But I think he's saying Celeste is dethroning Super Meat Boy.
I think. Wow. Here's the thing. I think Celeste is like the natural progression of people who love Super Meat Boy.
Okay, see, that's what I think too.
It has that same feel of this is really hard to get through this area, and like the instant respawns and kind of like the puzzles that you kind of have to solve to get through the screen before you move on to the next screen is like, I don't know. It feels a lot. I think that controls are tighter than Super Meat Boy too.
Ooh.
Where like,
wow, that's a bold. Okay, I have to play this now. I have to play this soon.
Not that like Super Meat Boy controls bad. It's just
sometimes, no. I'm not taking it as you said.
Right,
that
right.
All.
It's sometimes Meat Boy feels a tad bit floatier than I kind of like, and maybe that's just because I haven't mastered because I'm always holding the sprint button down on Meat Boy. And like you just go flying.
Well,
and
after a certain point, you like can't do it any other way. But see, now the funny thing is, remember last couple of episodes I'd mentioned like the glitch warp zones to you.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones where taking your finger off the sprint button actually helps. Oddly enough, because it knows you've probably programmed. Oh, you just have to be running because Meat Boy's so fast. I think in the first glitch warp zone you gain access to, which is usually the one in the first world.
Yeah.
The first jump in that is you need to jump, and then midway across those spikes, you need to let go so you can land on that platform.
Right.
And yeah, no, it's like I just love how they find ways to teach you that. And when you figure out how to do it, it's that light bulb moment. But I can also agree. I can also see your point about Meat Boy being flighty because sometimes like you could wall jump from the same spot. It's usually, I'll bet you're probably talking mostly after wall jumps. Like if you have to jump to a wall and then curve over.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, like when you're wall jumping, like, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm playing levels in my head as you're saying that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, but getting back to Celeste, it's like if Super Meat Boy in like Super Mario Brothers 3 kind of it had a baby and its name was Celeste. Yeah. And like, oh my gosh, dude. And like adding that small dash mechanic to a platformer is like, holy crap, dude. Holy crap. Adding that is just like, it just makes all the difference. And having like controlling your dashes and jumps, like timing your dashes the right way to get over this hump of spikes, and like, you know, platforming, you land on a platform, and then, you know, I don't know if you've gotten this far, Moose. You've been playing Celeste too, right? Where you get the special move where you can dash through the squares with like the stars in them.
Yeah.
Like the glowy stars. Yeah. And you have to time that, and then you have to make sure you hit the green diamonds to regain your burst, and just timing all that and making this like perfect little jump.
Ballet.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I don't know, man. This game, just like, I'm in the right mind frame for a platformer, and playing Super Meat Boy has really just like, both those games are just perfect, and I'm in the right mindset for both those games.
I just want to stop for a second, and Moose and you and I need to have a huddle. Look what we've created.
I know.
Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it? He's so adorable. He's growing up.
It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Hey, man. But besides those, before Celeste came out, I've been playing this game called Lumo, which is
I have that on PS4.
You do? Really?
I do.
I really like this game.
I haven't played it. I don't know what the game is, but I think it was a free PS Plus game.
Imagine if Captain Toad, a simplified Captain Toad.
Oh, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
Had
You're trying to hurt me now, Corey.
Like each room was a Captain Toad puzzle, but it was all the rooms and puzzles were connected like a Metroid game.
I think I need to go change my pants. I'll be right back.
That's what this game feels like. It's really slow.
That sounds real good, actually.
Yeah,
real good.
Yeah, and like I've probably played like an hour of it, and like at the beginning, you choose your character and you walk it, and like the cover, like when you look at the cover art, you're like, oh, that's a little wizard dude flying on a broom, and you. But
it looks like the Black Mage from the old Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
it's like that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
like, that's clearly what they're going for.
Yeah, but like when you start out the game, you pick your character, and it's like you either pick like a boy or girl, and you choose like its race and what color hat it's wearing and whatever. And it starts out, and it's like this isometric, like looks like you're about ready to play The Sims, and you're controlling this character, and you walk into this building, and you go all the way down to the end of the hall in this building, and you turn on this computer, and your character gets sucked into the computer, and you're like, oh, that's weird. And then you get sucked into this dungeon, which is like, then that's where like the real game kind of starts. But then I played like an hour. I'm in this like medieval dungeon solving these puzzles. I find this elevator in the dungeon, and it's like a modern day hotel elevator. It takes me up, and now I'm in this weird like Daft Punk meets Tron meets The Matrix puzzle layout thing. I'm like, I think this game just warped me into a different game, because they're like instead of like bricks and stuff, like the walls are lined with like wireframe boxes, and there's yellow robots chasing me, and you know, you can solve like, and the way the game is set up, it's like an isometric, like kind of almost Resident Evil 1-esque camera, where like it's a stable camera, and you just walk around the room, right?
Like Captain Toad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that too. I guess I already compared it to that, didn't I? But you can like solve different puzzles, and you can jump over walls and find cassette tapes, and they unlock things through the game.
Cassette tapes?
Yeah. It's not vinyl. I'm sorry, Matt.
No, that's not my problem. I'm actually kind of sold now. like, man, why haven't I played this game?
Yeah, so it's a cool little game. I got it on sale on the eShop for $11. So
you're playing it on Switch?
Yeah. Okay. And then I downloaded Blossom Tales, and that's clearly it should have just been called I ripped off A Link to the Past.
Right.
Yeah, I've heard that from several people.
Yeah, I mean, it starts out just like A Link to the Past. Like, it doesn't even hide it. It starts out where the main girl in this game she's sitting in front of a fire talking to her grandpa, and the grandpa's like, "Do you kids want to hear a story?" And her brother are like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Let me tell you about the little boy who wears green, the little elf boy who wears green, who saves the land of," and then it says H ... And the kid's like, "We've heard that one 1,000,000 times." And then he proceeds to tell the story, but replaces Link with the girl. And like, the game even starts out, you have to find your way into the castle to the upper right, just like A Link to the Past, and you drop down into the dungeon like A Link to the Past. Like,
yeah, I've heard that game is super easy as well. Like, the combat's really easy, and the puzzles are super easy.
Yeah, it's nowhere near as complex as A Link to the Past, but it's it's if you want a 2D Zelda game, Blossom Tales is the game you should probably buy. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been playing. I've been playing a lot. And then Mario plus Rabbids, I've been trying, but dude, Celeste and Super Meat Boy are taking up all my time. I can't help it.
Let me ask you a question about Mario plus Rabbids. Did you think that the combat was a little too easy?
In the beginning, yes.
Okay.
But I'm about halfway through the second world, and it's starting to get you're starting to find challenge.
Okay.
It's starting to ramp up.
Well,
yeah.
Kenny, do you like XCOM? Are you an XCOM
Yeah,
person?
yeah. I played it. Like, I played Mario versus Rabbids. My issue with the game was that, like, you only really had, like, it was almost like a binary choice of whether or not you hit. You had like 100% chance or a 50% chance or a 0% chance. That kind of bugged me a little bit, because like I liked XCOM so much, and I liked that challenge of, having the 23% chance to hit something and, still taking the shot and it working. With Mario plus Rabbids, that whole dynamic's thrown off.
Yeah, that aspect doesn't really change.
Like, the thing about Mario plus Rabbids, and I'm an XCOM person too. I love XCOM. I'm not a big strategy game guy, but XCOM just grabbed me in a way that I was not ready to deal with, and I still just love to this day. I looked past that particular thing because I'm like, okay, this is Nintendo doing XCOM. This isn't anybody we associate with, the higher difficulty spectrum of games. Like, I'm not like, if this were a From Software game, I'd be like, dude, Miyazaki, you messed up. If this were a Guerrilla game, I'd be like, what are you doing? But like, I like the fact that Nintendo allowed Ubisoft to do this, and did it. Is me looking past that probably one of those things that I'll look past because Nintendo allowed Ubisoft to do this? Yeah, probably. But at the same time, you get to that opera boss, and like, at that point, like, everything was worth it, because you look around the world and you see the Rabbids changing the Mushroom Kingdom while a lot of people, game industry or otherwise, would call it pedantic and stupid. Like, why is the Goomba being on a spout that's coming out of a toilet? That seems like dumb humor. But at the same time, that's kind of what slapstick is, and slapstick has a 100+ year history of that. And I feel like Ubisoft found a way to use that really well with the Rabbids, because there's an absence of that in games a lot of the time. You can't really. It's hard to pull off. But no, Mario plus Rabbids, like it's. I didn't have any problems until midway through the third world.
Okay.
And the problems I had were easily solvable, and it was because the time that I got them, I'm like, oh, I didn't expect that. All right, retool, go.
Yeah.
And it's not a difficult game to just push through, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
And I feel like even though it was relatively easy, like I found myself smiling and having fun and having genuine fun more often than not.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Corey, I took over your point. I apologize.
No, it's fine. I've just Mario plus Rabbids, I think, was a nice surprise, and with that Donkey Kong DLC coming out, I really want to play it because I thought
Banana Rang.
Yeah. Well, besides that, I thought like Nintendo. Stop pointing at your banana. Audio listeners won't know.
That's what she said.
It's okay. To the audio listeners, they don't know I have pants on. It's fine.
I'm actually not wearing any right now.
I'm not wearing pants either, but it's okay.
I am.
I think Nintendo allowed Ubisoft to take some liberties with the design of Donkey Kong and what their take on Donkey Kong Country plus Rabbids is going to be like, and that trailer really sold me on playing as Donkey Kong, and that trailer alone was the reason why I started playing again. And getting farther and farther, the direct trailer for the Donkey Kong expansion.
Okay, but you said Donkey Kong Country plus Rabbids.
Yeah,
when
whole
did
DLC,
that happen?
The DLC is going to be Donkey Kong Country.
I know. Is it called that? Is that what it's called?
Well, I'm assuming.
Okay, don't do that because you're gonna don't start assuming stuff.
Don't you do that, little Corey. Don't do that
because you're gonna lead my heart down a weird path, and I'm gonna be conflicted again.
When he gets hurt,
they were in a jungle.
It's X Kong at this point. Just let X Kong happen.
Well, title of the episode, X Kong. Got it.
There we go.
Yeah. But I really like the art direction in this game too, and the liberties that Nintendo allowed them to take on the Mushroom Kingdom. I know Nintendo had a ton of say in this game, but what they were allowed to do compared to, how tied up Nintendo's been till now, pretty much since the Mario Brothers movie. Man, I like Mario plus Rabbids, but I've been playing a lot of games lately. I didn't realize I've been playing that much. But yeah, that's it. Somebody else can go now.
Moose, I think it's you now.
Lots.
Zelda.
God damn, lots of Zelda. I've also picked up Iconoclasts, which is awesome. Lots of fun. Game is a lot of fun. I
hope that game comes to Switch.
No, buy it on PS4, punk. We need to keep sprucing up your PS4 library. All right, man. Come on. And it's a lot of fun. And then, like I said before, I bought Celeste, and I'm enjoying Celeste. Picked that up on PS4 as well. I will probably double dip on a sale and nab it on the Switch. That's probably not even a probably. That's a guarantee. Yeah. So when it gets on a pretty good sale, I'll probably pick it up on Switch. But Celeste has been fun. But then mainly I've dived deeply back down the Zelda hole. So I was telling Corey before we started recording, I just finished the Elephant Divine Beast.
Is that your second one now?
It's my second one.
Okay.
So I'm 60 hours in, and I'm only up to my second Divine Beast, but I do have a lot of.
You gotta stop bowling, dude.
No. It's not bowling, dude.
Why are you farming rupees anyway? You get enough just by playing the game. I've never farmed for rupees.
Shut your whore mouth, okay? Anyways, I'm not even. Okay.
He thinks. See, he's like, oh, this is Zelda Dark Souls, and rupees will help me level up. He's made that.
No, that's not the way I see it. That's not the way I see it at all.
Did you start the Terrytown quest?
What the fuck is that? I don't even know what that is.
Oh, you get to build your own house in your own town.
Skyrim, mofo.
And then
I'll have to look into that.
Once you
Wait,
dude,
is that
it's
where
like
you buy the abandoned house?
yeah, but then
Yeah,
like
I bought that.
it's like
yeah.
but after that you build a whole town. Oh, it's
Okay,
so
I didn't
good.
know
It's like
that,
It's
so
like
that's
a
cool.
12-hour
Okay.
quest. It's amazing, and they sell stuff at a discount. Like
It's
Like
Zelda Animal Crossing. It's so good.
Nice.
Zelda Mode Crossing.
But anyways, so I just did.
I like how that's the
second
thing that
Divine
finally
Beast.
got Kenny to go.
I'm a pretty
But,
stoked guy.
I'm moving along with that. So now I'm gonna farm some more materials, and I want to get the Hyrule Shield. I have the Master Sword. I got that sometime last week after the show. Like I just went and picked it up, and so now, now to be honest, I'm trying to unlock all the towers for all the areas, so that all the areas are shown on the map. And then also,
you're trying to Assassin's Creed it. I respect that.
and then
That was like the first thing I did was just go around to all the towers and then the surrounding shrines and then just
yeah, some of the towers are hard to get on if you don't have like certain things. But anyways, and then the
Get good,
fairies. I am getting good.
climbing.
I'm very good at the game. I've got the climbing gear. I've got it leveled up to level 2, and I've got my stamina is fucking almost. I have like 2 and maybe 2/3. So I've got 2 whole wheels of stamina and then 2/3. So like my stamina is pretty fucking good right now. So I'm putting more into stamina than I am hearts because you can find the stuff that gives you the temporary hearts. So
I beat the game with 7 hearts and a full circle of stamina.
nice.
Just saying.
Didn't even do any shrines. But I mean, I'm having fun with the shrines. The cool thing about the shrines is like they give you weapons, like they give you the cool ancient weapons.
Mm-hmm.
They give you like other stuff that's good. And then so I'm having a blast doing that. So I'm trying to find all the fairies. I think the next one I'm gonna do is the Gorgon Divine Beast, but I know I need like the heat resist. So I'm sure there is, but I don't know where it is or if it even exists yet, but I'm sure it does. But I need to find the heat resistant gear. So I'm gonna go hunt that down, and then I'm gonna go and probably take on that Divine Beast, and then keep moving along. But like Corey said, I want to have all the Divine Beasts finished before I go take on Ganon, and then also I want to try and, like I said, try and find the Hyrule Shield. I know you can find the videos telling you where it is and like how to get to it. So I'll probably.
But you don't. That's a game that just makes you not want to do any of that.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Well, you said you I mean, do you not agree, Moose, or do you want to watch the videos to go find it?
I want to go find it. I know where it is. I just need to go get it. Like that's the
Okay.
thing. So,
But did you want to watch the videos and have that kind of spoiled, or did you want to discover it on your own?
to be honest, I have no problem having it spoiled by watching the videos. Just because, like, I have so much to play this year, and I'm trying to catch up like so much with it. It's not like that's not so much of a spoiler to like be like, okay, here's where this is. Go get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. It's not a huge spoiler for me.
For me, like that was like the whole point of the game was like finding all the little hidden secrets and all that stuff. Like that was the first game in forever that I really, really wanted to explore that world and get to know it better.
And I am doing that. Like I'm thoroughly enjoying do that. Like I'll go up, find a tower, and then I'll be like, hey, there's a shrine. I'll go find the shrine. Then I'll be like, oh, hey, maybe there's another tower. Or I'll look over here and be like, here's another hidden shrine, or here's a camp I can go get into. You know, like I have had a lot of fun just going out and exploring stuff. Like I found the what is it, the Undead Forest by accident, I think. So I was just going through there trying to find that and get into the, because I think what I was trying to do was I was trying to find, so what I try and do when I do watch the videos or the guides is I'm like, okay, I want to expand my weapons more. I want to expand what I carry. So it's like, okay, this is who does it. yeah, I know who does it. I know how to do it. Okay, well now, and then it's like, okay, well he's here first, and he's here second, and then he finally moves to the Korak Forest. And you're like, okay, well where's the Korak Forest? Here's where we find it, and that's all I look up, and then I go. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not like a lot of it's not like detailed following a video because like when I do the Hyrule Shield, what I'll probably do is I'll just watch the video or read it enough to know to get to the entrance and then just do the rest myself. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like I'm not like doing it like, you know, step by step, like completely spoiling everything. It's just like, okay, this is where it is, go and get it. You know what I mean? Because I could try and find that on my own, but I'm going to be honest, I'm probably not going to spend enough time finding it on. I've got other things to do. I've got other games to play. I've got
Isn't there like, aren't there like hints throughout the game telling you where stuff is?
Yeah, but I haven't seen hints for the Shield.
Okay.
I've seen hints for other stuff, which I do want to go find that stuff as well, which it comes up under your side quests.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like but I just haven't dealt with those yet, which like I said, that's even more stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's even more stuff to go and discover. And so it's just like, okay, you know, like, I guess I'm just picking and choosing like what stuff I'm like, all right, I just want to know where it is, go do it. And other stuff, I'm just like, I'll find it naturally. You know what I mean? There's no natural progression as far as how I'm doing it. It's just, that's the way it's happening. Some stuff I'll be like, this is where you go and find it. And then some stuff I'll be like, okay, I find it by accident or something, you know? So, and I have no problem with that. You know, so
word,
yeah,
but it's good. But freaking Zelda is amazing. Like I said yesterday, I mean, my wife, we had an accident biking over the weekend, and so she's kind of immobilized for a while, and so we were sitting watching Friends, and so hey, I'm gonna play some Switch while we're watching Friends, and so we're both laughing at Friends, having a good time watching that. And like I said, yesterday I bowled for like 3-4 hours and just got an insane amount of rupees, you know? So
okay, well just don't lie to us and say you were laughing at Friends, because that shit wasn't funny.
No, I was laughing at it. Anyway.
God, I hate Friends. Anyway, so I'm just gonna go to me now because I haven't really talked. I've only been playing Neo. I have bought Monster Hunter World. I am waiting for the right time to sort of jump into it because I am super engrossed in Neo. I recently just beat I never know bosses' names in this game for some reason. But it's
Japanese.
No. It's not because of that. But like I know that the boss I recently just beat was Nobunaga's wife. And I just don't remember her name, but she's basically like an ice version of Sister Frida from Dark Souls 3.
Was she the vampire?
No.
No, that's the third. That's the third boss.
That's like the third boss you really fight, I watched a video on YouTube by the Sunburned Albino who did a really good boss compilation of Neo. And some of the stuff he says is really funny. But I feel like I had an easier time with this particular boss than he did, because it is a dude. And I feel like fighting against Sister Frida in Dark Souls 3 kind of prepared me for it. She has some weird AoE that takes, 80% of your health every time, regardless of what level you're at. But if you level up the right way, or if you pay attention to her attacks, it becomes basically a Dark Souls boss or a Bloodborne boss, where it's sort of a little dance or a little rhythm game, and you have to see it coming and react. But it's a cool boss fight, and I enjoyed it. I've been doing the other side quests in the third region of Neo, and there are two that I am having trouble with. One is a dojo one where you have to fight the dude in red, and the other one is the Battle of Ohashi Bridge, which I've heard is a pretty good place to farm glory. But the boss that's actually there is a dick. I won't go much more into it than that, but Neo is fun. I got to the point where I was like, okay, I can't do either of these things right now, so I'm just going to see if I can help people in earlier missions. Put myself up for random encounters and just watch people die stupidly to that giant black slime. Because
it's amazing, isn't it?
Like it's just like, yeah, I remember when I was that kind of idiot, and then I just learned. And yeah, no, Neo is a special game. I'm glad that Moose brought to my attention a couple weeks ago that they are looking to expand it.
Which news should be coming soon, they said.
Which, you know, I hope they kind of just do something to that game.
Who was the developer on that? Was that Ninja Theory?
It was Team Ninja.
Team Ninja.
Okay. For some reason, I thought that was Ninja Theory.
Ninja Theory.
There's too many freaking ninja developers out there.
Yeah,
but anyway,
Ninja Theory did Hellblade.
That's what it was. Yeah, that was recently.
Yeah,
which was another one of my best top games of 2017. But like Team Ninja did something special with this, and I feel like the 3D Ninja Gaiden games didn't capture what this game did. I feel like the 3D Ninja Gaiden games were just aiming at being masochistically hard.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's fine. There are certain subsets of people who like that sort of thing. But Neo was one of those things that, like, it almost, like you guys were saying about Final Fantasy 14. You can level up however you want, and then you can. They're getting respec materials is easy enough, early enough that you can change the way you play, and I feel like learning skills for both the samurai stuff, the ninja, or for all of the samurai stuff, the ninja stuff, and the magic stuff, it happens rapidly enough that you could sort of pick and choose which way you want to go. Neo's great. Play it. That's all I've been playing. I've done the odd level in Super Meat Boy. I finished that. I'm still sort of using it as my training ground for the platinum. And Moose just told Matt Phillips in the chat to eat a bag of dicks. So with that, Moose or Corey, do either of you have a quick topic or no?
Not really. I wasn't really thinking of anything.
Okay.
Did you guys see the news today of Microsoft in talks to buy EA? Valve.
Oh, great! Shitty buying shittier. Great.
Now hold on. Microsoft. There's rumors going around that Microsoft is looking to buy EA, Valve, and PUBG developers, and I'm like, all IPs and anything associated with any of those companies, if Microsoft buys them, is going to go to shit.
See, I disagree, and here's why. I think if they bought EA, that would be a smart move for EA. That the other developers like.
How is that a smart move for EA? I'm with you there. Please tell me how it would be a smart move for EA.
Okay, so here's what they need to do. EA right now does not give a fuck about the people who are playing their games. They just
Neither does
care
Microsoft.
About, I disagree. I think Microsoft, they're like, yes, they're corporate, and yes, like I don't love the Xbox One. I don't have an Xbox One. But like, if you look at what they're doing with their first party release titles, like where they're putting them in that bundle thing now, where you pay like $60 every 6 months.
Oh, the Game Pass, yeah, $10 a month, and they're adding all their first party games day and date.
Because nobody's fucking buying them when they come out.
Right, but like that means that like they're getting desperate. Like, so Sony was in this same boat last gen, like with the PlayStation 3. Like the PlayStation, like it's cyclical. You have one good console, then you have a shitty console, then you go back to making a good console. It took Nintendo a couple of tries, but now we got the Switch, and you know.
I kind of want to interrupt you because I feel like there's going to be the point where that cycle stops.
Yeah, sure, absolutely, but yeah, Moose,
go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
Now go ahead, Matt. Go ahead. You go finish what you were saying.
No. That was really there was a period at the end of that sentence, dude. Go ahead.
I hope the sniper drops. I mean, if Sony, Phillips in our chat, we've been going back and forth about backwards compatibility, and it's like the PS5 is on the horizon.
Yeah.
Okay. Like it's gotta be 2020 at the latest. 2 more years. We got 2 more years of the PS4. If they're not smart enough to come out and say the PS5 will be backwards compatible, they're out of their goddamn minds. Because look what backwards compatibility has done for the Xbox One. Granted, because the Xbox One doesn't have any fucking games except for third party, there's no first party games. So people are playing more fucking 360 games on their Xbox One than they're playing Xbox One games. The reason I want them to come out and say your games are backwards compatible is because I have a lot of games on the PS4.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of games that I would love to continue to play. Bloodborne. If I can trade in my PS4 and buy a PS5 and still play Bloodborne, I'm fucking sold. Like, I will buy your console day one. I will buy it day one. I don't even need, like, Captain Canada was talking about going back as far as maybe even PlayStation 3. I don't need PlayStation 3. If they can give me PlayStation 3, that's fine. What I just want is, okay, any disc you own that's PS4 or any digital game, that you bought, even if they said any game on the PSN network, so that can go back to PlayStation 3 games. Any game that's available on the PSN network that you could buy for PS3 or PS4, you can play on the PS5. I would be sold. So really, Sony is at a point where they can fuck it up, because Microsoft isn't doing fucking anything. They're not doing fucking anything to try and take any money away from them. Granted, yes, hey, we're going to put our first party games inside the Game Pass. Okay, so that's Sea of Thieves, which still we don't have no idea what kind of game it is, although I've heard good things about it. People have said good things about it, okay? Number one. Then you got their Trinity. You've got Gears of War, which I'm sick of fucking playing. I don't want to play a bro shooter anymore. You got Halo, which has gone to shit. And then there's Forza, and Forza is always good, but it's a racing game, and I'm not really good at racing games, so I don't see any reason to buy an Xbox to play that. So,
well, to be fair, Moose, you don't seem like the racing sim person. I know Forza sort of melds sim and arcade aspects
of
racing.
Arcade.
I feel like you would be a more Mario Kart person than you would be
or even Ridge Racer. I used to play
but my point here is you're further on that side of the spectrum than you are Gran Turismo.
But what I'm trying to say is, so like Microsoft, like you can see that, okay, they killed off Scalebound.
Yeah.
Okay. They had Insomnia made Sunset Overdrive, and Sunset Overdrive was a great game, but it fucking tanked in sales because, hey, guess what? Microsoft didn't give a fuck about it and didn't promote it and market it.
Well,
hey,
I think
if Microsoft buys EA, that will be the nail in the coffin. Okay. EA is already going downhill because Battlefront 2 is fucking totally destroyed any relations they've had with the fan base, especially with them trying to do the microtransactions, and they got rid of them. And then Disney's like getting all pissed. And Mass Effect, BioWare is just basically a shell of its former self, ready to be put out to pasture like Visceral was. They killed Visceral. I will bet you money Anthem will not do as well as EA thinks it will, and it's going to kill BioWare. So BioWare in 3 to 5 years, BioWare will be dead. BioWare will be closed. So what else is the only thing that they have that I am even remotely interested in playing is Battlefield. I love Battlefield 3. I loved 4, even though it was glitchy. They made it. When I jumped to PS4, it was fucking great. And then Battlefield 1 is awesome. Like that's all they have. That's all EA has that I want to play. And so you know what? If Microsoft swoops in and buys them, fucking whatever. Then I'm not playing Battlefield. because they're definitely not going to put it on PS4. And I'm sorry, Kenny.
No, you're fine.
So go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, a couple things I wanted to address. PS5 or PS4 to PS5 backwards compatibility. Sony would be crazy not to do that right now. Like, they're
right.
The thing is it's x86 architecture across the board on both the Xbox One and the PS4. The PS4 should be backwards compatibility. I completely understand why they couldn't do it with the PS3 to PS4.
Right.
Like
because that cell was like weird architecture, right?
And the language that they used to write it in was very, very weird and very in order to extrapolate that data, you have to jump through so many fucking hoops.
So it's basically archaic without being outdated.
Yeah, right. I don't think it was NoClip, but someone did a really cool. It might have been an even Giant Bomb, but they did an interview with some of the guys from Naughty Dog, and they actually had a CPU architecture professional come in and teach them how the cell processor broke down data, like each step of the way on each one of the processors, and it was super interesting. It was like a 4.5 hour talk, and
I know what you're talking about. I watched it too, and I think about 30 minutes in, I ran out of breadcrumbs to get myself home, but I still stayed and finished.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if I'm smarter because of it, but I'm with you.
Yeah, it was super interesting.
Well, that's understandable, but I mean, they also here's my other thing, like Xbox was no backwards compatibility, and then they gave it to the fans because they needed something to make up sales.
Right. Absolutely.
So they basically said it's an Xbox 360 game wrapped inside of an Xbox One game. Yeah. And that's just layman terms. I'm not trying to even understand. And the problem is with PS3 to go and being compatible on PS4, getting that backwards compatibility, is the fact that they also did the streaming service.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have PS.
What they're doing there. Well, yeah, but what they're doing there is a host PS3 running and then streaming the content to your PS4.
Right,
so your PS4 is not actually running that code. Your PS4 is receiving
an input. Yeah. Right. But what I'm saying is because they also had that as a factor, not only the difficulty of trying to run PS3 games on a PS4, but they also invested money in the streaming service. And so that's where the problem is. And so, I just feel it's fine. Microsoft has a problem that they're trying to do games as a service. And so they're their IPs, they're getting rid of all these IPs. And I said it before and I'll say it again. They got rid of Scalebound because Scalebound was not going to make them the most amount of money that they thought it was going to make them. That's why they killed that game. And that's the problem with Microsoft. And that's why I will never buy an Xbox One, because they don't understand that you have to make these little investments and take these risks to Last Guardian. That's my other example. Microsoft would have killed development on that within 2 years, 3 years. That game would have maybe made it 3 years, and Microsoft would have killed development. But Sony kept going with it, and Sony kept allowing them to produce that game and then put that game out. Now, is it the greatest game ever? No, but it's still a decent game, and it was still allowed to be produced for the fans.
Yeah, I like looking at it from a developer, from a development perspective, and from a business perspective. I'm surprised Sony let that go, just because
as long as it did, yeah.
If I told my bosses tomorrow, hey, it's going to take me 10 years to build something, I would be fired.
Right. No.
I should be. I absolutely should be fired.
Right.
If I can't build something within 10 years.
Right. I mean, and see, Sony knows to take the chance, Gravity Rush 2. Microsoft would never take a chance on a game like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like they did. They had Sunset Overdrive, but then didn't really market it. And
I think they've tried that. I think what Microsoft is doing, getting rid of not talking about their IP, their first party stuff and anything, I think what they're doing, I can't tell yet if this was a genius move or a stupid move to put their IP on this Game Pass thing. And I agree with you, Moose. all their IP that they want to succeed is going to be a games as service. That's why, it's not like Sony, I think, would be stupid to have a Game Pass type thing for their first party things, because they can't monetize God of War. They can't monetize Horizon after somebody's bought it unless they release an expansion pack. Whereas, Halo, Gears, Sea of Thieves, Crackdown, State of Decay are all going to
have multiplayer.
They all have multiplayer. They're all going to be able to be monetized through, rec packs and loot boxes and all that kind of stuff. And that's where I think that model works for Microsoft. Once, like, if Microsoft is building their version of Horizon like they said they were, and which I still think is Playground Games is rumored to be working on Fable. Like, how's that going to work in this pass unless, whatever their business structure is, like, do they have all of their first party teams? Like, is it instead of like, Turn 10 makes Forza, so Turn 10 makes the money. Does all the money Microsoft make go into this big, like, Scrooge McDuck style bank with like these sliding boards that come out of it that just go to their first parties to fund the games?
That's what I'm assuming happens.
That probably is what happens. I mean, if Sony was going to come out with something, I feel they would come out. They've already kind of done it. They got the PS Now, where you can stream like PlayStation 4 games. I feel like they would just be like, all right, now our first party exclusives, you can. I think they would raise the price at day one. If they're going to do it day one, they're going to raise the price a little bit. I personally feel, and I said it at E3 and I said it at PSX, and it kind of didn't happen, but PS Plus needs a revamp. Like, PS Plus needs a severe revamp, and I think that's where it would be. I think they would leave PS Now the way it is, and your PlayStation Plus, they would be like, okay, for an extra $50 a year, so you're talking $111 a year, you get access to first party exclusives like day one. To kind of counteract Microsoft's, or you know what I mean, or you get a certain amount of time with it. You can only check out 2 games at a time or something, so you could get access to God of War, but that's all you can play as far as first party exclusive goes. And then when you can drop that and pick up Spider-Man when it comes out, but you can't play both of them at the same time.
Hang on, I've lost you a little bit. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I know
because me, but like Corey said, he doesn't know if this Game Pass thing is a genius move or a stupid move. I don't think it's either. I think it's reactionary.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely
because now someone can correct me. Someone can correct me, because PS Plus did the same thing last gen.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Phillips is in the chat. I see you, Captain Canada. It makes sense for Microsoft. Yeah, it makes sense for them because they have no bullets in the chamber to fire. No. Stop, both of you.
No, but I think it's what I said earlier, though, because like their games are easier to monetize. They're easier to monetize than PlayStation's first party stuff because they have long tails. They have long multiplayer tails. They have rep packs and loot boxes.
But Corey, answer me a goddamn question. Our Xbox, I know Xbox One gamers are going to be willing to suffer broke ass PUBG. I get that. That's fine because they're playing basically the best game of 2017. It's the game that changed things the most for its genre. Mm-hmm. And I think Kenny, as the one person who's a serious PC gamer on this panel, he could probably agree with me on that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, broke ass PUBG isn't going to sell consoles.
Well, that and let's be honest with ourselves. Microsoft does not have the money. They may have the money. I don't know. But
they have the money, but are they going to invest it in their Xbox division, something they've wanted to get rid of for years.
Right. But like let's look at okay, Tencent owns PUBG or Tencent owns Bluehole. Tencent is a fucking major company.
Yeah, Tencent's gonna own Nerds Gone Rogue at some point.
Yeah. EA, if they sold out,
we're gonna get paid, son.
Yeah, 10 cents.
Yeah.
EA, if they were to buy them out, that would be billions and billions of dollars in buyouts. Because like look at how much they paid for Minecraft, and Minecraft was a singular product. If they bought any of I think this is all hearsay because I can't imagine a deal.
Right, and I agree with you. It is all hearsay. I'm just saying it was
theoretically, if they bought EA or PUBG or Valve, let's look at EA for example.
Okay, first
look at the IP. Look at the value of the IP.
I'm going to disrespect the hell out of you right now. Microsoft is not buying Valve for one word. Steam.
I said EA.
No, you mentioned Valve.
The article on Game Informer says Valve. The article on
Game Informer. Okay, there no disrespect. Journalists deal in speculation that sells them.
I agree, and that's why I said
actually clicks. No one buys a fucking issue anymore.
I do.
I like a physical issue of Game Informer. I'm just
you like it physical.
Hell yeah! but my point is, Microsoft does not have I'll be honest. Valve says we've got Steam, we've got a constant stream of money. How many billions do you have?
Listen, I want to read some comments. We got some comments from Captain Canada, Mr. Phillips. Let's talk about how the MS acquisition of Rare was.
No, let's not do that.
Lionheart.
No, Lionhead.
Not just Lionhead. He says, I don't want them buying EA. Call me nuts. And then he says, Sony have MLB The Show. Microsoft has Forza, yearly sports titles, which is understandable. And then he also says, the reason Game Pass makes sense for Microsoft is that their games aren't selling. Right. They figure they'll make more on the subs than they will on the game sales.
And that was my point.
Yeah, that's where I was trying to
PS Plus spawned out of that same situation last gen. In fact, this gen has probably put Sony in the hole, but they found a way to react to it by saying, hey, a lot of these games are coming out here because more people are buying here.
Right.
Now, I feel like the strategy at this point from any of the big console makers, and by any of the big console makers, let's be real, I mean Microsoft and Sony, because Nintendo is the Snapple of the 90s. They just we want to be your second console.
Yeah,
you'll go to
my second console.
Right. So you'll come here for Mario, Zelda, maybe Metroid, but you can stay over there for Horizon, Assassin's Creed, Fallout, whatever.
I don't know. Doom's on Switch now.
True.
And
stop, Corey.
In a couple months?
But my point here is
shit. Move it. Yeah.
Well, you want a cookie?
I do. That sounds good. Chocolate chip, please. Microwave it so it's a little bit gooey.
But anyway, God, I forgot what I was going to say now. God damn it, Corey.
Good.
You were yelling about something.
I see. Yeah. That's what I do, Kenny.
It's just
Thank you for pointing me out. I appreciate it.
I do what I can.
Here's the thing. When are the big three, and I even, when are Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, what they need to do is they need to look at the pitfalls that they fell into on some of their failures. So Sony with the PlayStation 3, Microsoft with the Xbox One, Nintendo with the Wii U, which they've already seemed to recover with the Switch. Obviously, it's the fastest selling console in America. And it's fucking great. I love my Switch. I'm actually kind of playing it more than my PS4 right now. But that's because of Zelda. But anyways, they need to look back at the pitfalls that they've made and not make them. So Sony needs to look back and say, okay, even though the PS4 we turn the ship around, there's a better way to write this even more. Okay, so when the PS5 comes out, let's keep moving in the same direction. Keep having first party exclusives, keep having a great network, upgrade the network, and then also let's do backwards compatibility. You know, changed gamer tags. Sean Layton what was he on? He was on that stupid ass panel for PSX.
It was the most boring PSX since PSX started.
Listen, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking when they did that. But anyways, that's another conversation.
I know what they were thinking. But again, different conversations. I'm with you, Moose. Continue.
Right. So I feel, in all honesty, in my opinion, if Microsoft, they're not going to buy Valve. I agree with you, Steam.
Oh, no.
They're not buying Valve. I could see them buying the developer that does PUBG or trying to work it out with the developer to buy PUBG away from that developer. I can see that happening. EA is a little further of a stretch. I agree with Kenny. There's a lot of IPs there. So there's a lot more as far as like billions of dollars than there was for Minecraft. So, like we said, it's all speculation. But I mean, it's a conversation that we can have and our opinions can be out there.
Yeah.
I feel EA would be the death. If they bought EA, just kiss a lot of your IPs goodbye.
I honestly think if Microsoft was smart, they would try to get the Star Wars license away from EA. That would be the thing that would get them in a position where they can make a shit ton of money.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
I could see them doing it because Halo 4 and 5 were all right. I mean, they weren't as good as what Bungie was doing, but then Bungie went and fucked things up with Destiny and Destiny 2.
Oh, please.
Listen, I have to.
Corey, you know what you've done.
Great job with Halo, and then they just fucked themselves by going over and laying in the bed that Activision makes. Okay?
Yep.
Okay? That was the problem. So I feel, what is it? The Coalition does Gears, what is it, 343? Does
343 does Halo. Coalition does Gears. I feel,
in my opinion, the last Halo game I played was 4, and I had no problem with it. I enjoyed it.
I loved Halo 4. It's my
favorite.
I
enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the story. Didn't really do a lot with the multiplayer because I think I was also playing Skyrim at the time, so they ate a lot of my time outside of just trying to just play games to finish them. But anyways, I feel they could do a good job with the Star Wars game. So like Kenny said, try and get the license away. And then see, like, that's it. The only place you can play Star Wars is on a Microsoft machine or PC because Microsoft is moving to this where it's a play anywhere type model.
I'm actually very thankful for that personally, but
Right. Well, I mean, because you have a PC and like you said, you just bought that beautiful new model or monitor. And so you're just like, I just want to play on PC. So I can totally understand that. And see, that is why I want to build a PC. I want to build a PC because I love indies. Matt and I love indies, but my thing is like I want to build a PC so I can do a lot of the indies before they hit consoles. Like Dead Cells is coming to PS4 this year, but it's already out on PC.
Well, and it's great
now right, and that's what I heard. I heard it's fucking awesome, and I want to play that. I will probably end up
quit rubbing it in our faces, Kenny. Jeez.
I will probably end up playing it on PS4.
Can we hire Kenny? Can we pay him?
I mean, I got.
If he makes Matt angry, I like it. But anyways,
I got $4, almost $5.
So
I make a little bit more than that.
I've got an empty water bottle and a half stick of deodorant.
Now we're talking. Is it used deodorant or is it?
Oh, it's a half stick, buddy.
I've got like a third of a beer left.
Are you guys trying to make me lose a foot? Like I can't drink beer. Like.
Anyways, so I feel like
you can't drink beer. I didn't know. Okay, maybe we don't.
I'm diabetic. I can't drink beer. Otherwise, my foot just pops off.
Okay. I feel bad. I did not know that.
No, it's cool. I make that joke all the time, dude. No worries.
We're just leading you to the first step of being cyborg.
We're just trying to be little scams here, Kenny.
I mean,
and then you just get real. What the hell?
I mean, I could put a robot foot on there, which would be pretty badass. But or like a wheel.
Kenny Beer solid 5?
Yeah. I'd watch that. I'd pay $1 for that.
Yeah.
I will pay your $1, sir.
I think. Look, I know we kind of rip on Microsoft a lot on this show, but
we do.
To be fair, like when Phil Spencer took over as the head of Xbox, he had a huge ship to turn around from that.
And I think he's done a great job.
Yeah, and I think like I think he's building a great foundation for whatever Xbox does after Xbox One.
Yeah.
And
I
like
think-
Xbox.
I think their problem was that they had so much. It was the same problem the Wii U had. They had so many confusing marketing ideas. Like, we want to be a cable box, but we also want you to play games on us. We
Yeah.
want the Kinect to take off, but we also don't want you to use the Kinect. Like,
Yeah.
that was
That's
that
true.
was kind of their problem.
Beautifully.
Well, also it's like, you know, the DRM, there's the
Yeah.
always has to be connected to the internet. Can't like just take your copy of a game and give it to a friend to let them borrow. And then, you know, like Kenny, you don't know it, but I had a 360 before I went PlayStation 4, and all their shit in E3 made me be like, fuck your couch, buddy. I'm going PS4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That, because I was like, that's what I want. It's $100 cheaper. It's actually a better system. I don't have to deal with, you know, I can take my games in, you play used games, you know, I don't have to always be online. And so they kind of shot themselves in the foot. I think they've done a great job. Phil Spencer's done a great job of turning it around and getting gamers re-engaged with Microsoft. But they kind of almost did what Sony did with the PlayStation 3 when they came in. They're like, oh, well, you can get a second job to buy our console.
Yeah.
That is Microsoft's version of that is basically like, oh, if you want a console that's offline, buy a 360.
Yeah.
Because they basically just spat in all the faces of our armed forces who are overseas and can't, you know what I mean, don't have internet. You know what I'm saying? So it's just they're both, you know, they both have a lot of pitfalls that they can recover from. And with the PS5 and then the Xbox 2 or whatever the hell we're gonna call it, maybe we'll just call it the X, because they keep they keep going backwards. They keep taking things away from their name.
Maybe like an X squared.
There we go. We go X squared. I like that, Kenny. And so I feel like they both have pitfalls that they can adjust from and just say, keep doing this. Here's our list of things we keep doing, but here's a list of things that we need to add to that. So like Microsoft backwards compatibility. Sony add backwards compatibility, and Microsoft add some more take more chances on first party games.
One thing I'm honestly surprised at is, and you guys may not agree, is the price of the Xbox One X. I can't believe they're selling that console at the price point they are. I think it's way too low, especially whenever you can't buy a 1080 Ti right now for under $1,300. Like, I don't know how in the hell
cryptocurrency, son.
I mean, I think people, like, they had to sell it that low because people aren't comparing it to a PC. They're comparing it to the PS4, and like, you know, people just want to plug and play console instead of building a PC. Like,
right. And honestly, like, if you're wanting a graphical powerhouse, that's probably the best thing to buy right now. Like, I mean, the PS4 Pro is okay, but that thing's a lot more powerful.
See, here's the thing. There is nothing on the Xbox that I want to, and I'm not trying, listen, I'm not trying to like kick it while it's down, but everything I want to play is on Sony. I want to play God of War, which I already pre-ordered. I want to play Spider-Man. I want to play Days Gone. I want to play Detroit Two Human. None of those are available on Xbox. Pretty much everything that's on Xbox, I can play on my PS4 because it's third-party games, or on a PC eventually when I get one. The only thing that would make me buy an Xbox One is Cuphead and Castle Crashers. Chance to play Castle Crashers 60 frames per second. You know, I would love to play that, and I'd love to play Cuphead, but I'm like a Switch. I will tell anybody on the face of this fucking planet, buy a Switch for Zelda. It is, if the only thing you're going to play on a Switch is Zelda, it is fucking worth it. It is worth every penny, because that game is a fucking 20 out of 10. Okay? That game is amazing. And then you have other games that are just as amazing. You got Mario plus Rabbids. You know, you've got a lot of indie games, some third-party games that are coming out on it. So there are
more games on Switch you will look at and think you don't like, and then realize you like more than you ever you could have.
Yeah. So it's just I want I need Microsoft to succeed because I need them to kick Sony in the pants to start releasing some of their games. The reason they're not releasing their games is because they don't have any competition.
Yeah.
You know? But
well, I don't know about that. Development's a hard thing.
That's true. That's true.
All right.
Well,
I agree with that too. I agree with that too.
Hang on. I need to interject here, just because we've been going a while. It is 11 at night, and I know I didn't discuss this beforehand with Corey and Moose. That's probably my fault as a host. I wanted to talk about Kenny doing like more Unity stuff, as well as I wanted him to sort of look at what he was doing with his podcasting future.
Why don't we do that, and then we'll go into 20 questions.
But I don't know, like, Kenny, what's your timetable like?
I'm okay.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have to be at work until like whenever I want. So yeah.
Okay.
What's that like?
It's nice. I just go in. As long as
I'm
I'm
not even going to work tomorrow. So.
yeah.
That sounds so
But anyway.
good. I would love
Yeah,
that.
it's good.
Are you hiring?
It's good.
It's possible in the future.
Do I need to know anything specific?
Yeah. Do you know how to program?
No.
Okay.
Damn
Matt,
it.
just say yes.
Learn.
But I
Fake
Fake it till you
don't.
make it. Fake it till you make it.
Is it something I
Throw
can
out-
learn quickly?
throw out stuff.
Ish. Took me about a year and a half. No.
C++.
Anyways.
Anyway, Kenny,
x86.
and it was weird timing that I had asked you to come back on the show, because it had been a very long time since you and your cohort John,
friends,
since
John.
you guys had been on, and I missed you both because you both are just divine individuals.
Well, thank you.
Also, I had seen a post in Giant Bomb's Facebook community
Yeah.
that you said you had gotten the Unity bug again.
Yeah.
So, talk to us about
Do what?
developing games in Unity, because I don't really know how to direct this conversation.
No, you're fine.
Until you start talking.
Yeah. So to give you a little background on myself, I'm actually a programmer for a small WordPress company. I'm going to plug us. Hopefully that's cool. We make a product called Ninja Forms. Forms, FORMS. Everyone always thinks I say forums because I'm from the South and I have a dumbass accent.
I like your accent, so Moose's as well.
It's comforting.
I'm from the North and I live in the South. There's a difference.
But you have an accent, motherfucker.
No offense, Eddie. Just, there's a difference.
Okay. I hate my accent. Anyways, yeah.
Because I don't remember. Are I know Moose is in North Carolina. Where are you again? Tennessee.
Yeah. Tennessee.
Okay.
Tennessee's nice.
Yeah,
But
it's
anyway.
a good place. But yeah, so I'm a developer by trade. Like I work, 40 plus hours a week on programming. So I decided, like a year and a half ago, I wanted to learn Unity. Because like I've always wanted to build a game, and it's something I'm really passionate about and something I enjoy. So I started looking at Unity, got pretty deep into it a while back, and then stopped and switched to Unreal 4 for some stupid reason. The major difference between Unity and Unreal 4 is Unity's written in C#, which is a great language that is easy to understand and it's pretty good. And Unreal's written in C++, which is a terrible garbage language that bad people should never use.
Okay, so what's the difference now? Just to belabor the point, unfortunately, C++ and
So
what was the other one? C#.
C#, yeah.
Now, is it just sort of like new user intuitiveness?
No,
or-
so the best, like I say that, and like that sounds really elitist, but I'm joking totally. C++ is actually kind of like the grandfather of all modern coding languages. So C++ is a lot more rudimentary. It's a lot closer to it's still a high level language, meaning it's removed from the hardware. But it is a lot more. It's still interconnected a little bit more than most modern languages. Where C# is a lot more modern. It has more modern aesthetics. You can do things that you can't do in C++. So with that, like with learning Unity, I've been picking up a lot more C# and playing around with it, and it's been a ton of fun, man. Like learning I've started learning animation because I'm not a good artist at all. Like I'm a shit artist and I can't draw or anything like that. But learning like I've been using Blender for animation and sculpting and all that stuff. But learning that, it's been really cool because like it's almost like sculpting clay. You know, you start off with a bunch of different shapes and you put them into an order, and then you build something that looks cool out of it.
Okay.
It's been really fun. All my models look like shit right now, but you know that's kind of the way it starts. So like
What you mean you can't start out amazing? Fuck that, it's broken.
Yeah, I know, right? Like you know, I'm rendering some cool ass 4K stickmen. Like that.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So, you know, and it's a ton of fun. Like Unity is one of those things that it is definitely not for everyone. If you're not a maker, you're probably not going to enjoy it. But like I love building shit and you know, just seeing what I can do digitally because like, you know, some people, like most of my family is really good with like woodworking and stuff like that. So they always make fun of me because like I can't go out and build something with a hammer. Like if there's something in my house that needs to be fixed, I call my wife because she can fix that shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah. However, like technology wise goes, like if
kidding, kind of jealous.
if there's something like technological in the house that needs to be fixed, you know, that's when I come in because I'm really good at that stuff. You know, it's really cool. I plan on doing a little bit of podcasting about Unity here soon. It's
okay.
The hard part is trying to figure out how to make coding languages. Like I feel like I'm boring you guys just talking about it already. But like
no, I speak for myself, not Corey or Moose. This is fascinating to me.
No, I'm enjoying
and very much like the way that you are. You can't build stuff with a hammer and nail.
Yeah.
In my family, like
he can't do anything.
Well, no, like the only skill that I ever sort of had is my ability to write.
Yeah.
Like my dad, he would try and teach me how to fix stuff around the house. I bet you, and I would be like, I could write that manual.
Yeah.
And make it easy for anybody. I can't do what you're doing, Dad. I'm sorry. I'm a failure. So like that, like honestly, like that's the thing. So if you ever decide you want to make something serious and you want someone to write a story, I will at least try.
Yeah.
So
no, and that's like kind of where I'm at right now with this whole process and this journey is I'm trying to decide like I'm going to need an artist. That's something I'm going to need. I'm going to need like some of the guys I talked to about doing the story before. The problem I had with their story was they wanted to do like this dark, grim, you know, almost like Soulsian story where, you know, everything's just it's
interconnected, overwrought, and like
super depressing. I would rather do something like Borderlands where it's, you know, tongue-in-cheek humor. Like I want to do an isometric RPG that's fun. Like I don't want people to play my game and feel a heavy sense of like depression and stuff like that. The whole point of video games is joy. And, you know, like playing Persona, for me at least, playing Persona 5. Like,
I mean, you're kind of talking to the wrong people here. I get a lot of joy out of Dark Souls.
Ourselves. We like
but,
to punish ourselves.
Now, I admit I have a certain disorder that hasn't been named yet, but, you know, whatever. Go ahead, continue.
But
Dark Souls-itis? Yes.
Well, it's not an itis. Itis is just an inflammation. I have more of an osis, which is sort of a long onset sort of thing.
There you go. Dark
Souls Zosis.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
sorry, Kenny.
Soulsborne osis.
So I've been working on this Unity stuff, and you know, like one of the things I want to do is as I'm getting deeper into it, I would like to build a website cataloging and kind of writing my journey through. I did the same thing when I started learning PHP development 2 years ago.
What's PHP? Just because I don't know.
PHP is what most of the internet's written in.
Okay.
So PHP is a server-side language. It's like if you ever used WordPress or like I would guess Square or Wix or Weebly may be written in PHP, like their server-side stuff may be written in PHP. But yeah, so PHP powers about, I'm just going to throw a crazy number out there, like 40 to 50% of the internet.
Okay.
As far as like the server-side stuff goes. But
Okay.
so
You decided to write Facebook. I gotcha. Okay.
Facebook's in PHP. So yeah. But yeah, so PHP
That was a good guess.
yeah, it was. Yeah. But yeah, so you know, when I started my whole journey as a developer, that's what I started doing, was cataloging that in a blog. And it's really fun to go back and read those old blog posts and say, oh wow, look at where I was then compared to where I am now. It's really fucking cool. And you know, I want to, like, it's also something you can share with people and say, you know, if you're wanting to get in development, here's where I stumbled whenever I started. And like, I love helping people. That's like one of my biggest things is I'm a big community driven person. And like, even within the small subset of community I'm in with the Unity group that I'm in, you know, I'm always trying to help people in the Slack community that, you know, ask questions, because I want to be that person that people rely on. It's a part of my personality.
Well, and like on top of that, you also seem like you're not afraid to learn, which is cool.
No, like that's something that you have to learn early on as a developer. Like you have to be comfortable with saying, I'm not the smartest person in the room. Like at my job, I'm probably the worst developer on our team, because I work with a guy that's been writing code for 18 years and another guy that's been writing code for 10 years. And I've been writing code for 3. So
well, now I'm bringing my own experience as an X-ray tech.
Sure.
In people that have been doing it for 10 or 18 are very different than people like myself who have been a tech for 5.
Yeah.
The modalities have changed, the techniques have changed, and a lot of them have not adjusted. One of the people that trained me was a tech since 1976, but using film techniques in a digital X-ray world is
it's rough on him, I bet.
It's a problematic thing because he would use extra radiation for things. And I'd be like, Eric, you know, I'm not telling you you're wrong, but dial it back a notch. I'll bet you'll get a good image.
Yeah.
And then he would be like, no, that's not possible because you just got here. I'm like, can we just try it? Because this is going to be my credit for my competency. And he's like, all right, moron. And then do it. It's in the exposure index and everything mathematically matches up. And on top of that, I got a good image. You know, I found a way to sort of teach someone who knew more than me.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's I feel like that and development kind of.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's an analog in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. So like one of the things that I'm kind of trying to become right now is something called a dev coach at where I work. So my goal is to be a mentor in a sense, even though I don't have the most coding experience, even though
I just want to say you're off the team. Don't lie.
Oh, no. Like that still means that I'm going to be writing code every day. But like it's really fun. Like I really enjoy teaching and I love like helping people learn because like when I grew up, I didn't have the access to this type of stuff. Like I remember growing up and not being able to find people to help me learn how to code or help me do what I wanted. So like now that I'm old enough and I have the money and I have the, you know, the drive to do so, I want to help as many people get to where they want to go in life as possible.
Okay. I respect the fuck out of that. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
Right now.
No.
I mean, in like, hang on 1 second. I apologize.
Yeah, you're fine.
Power cord came out of the laptop. Got to make sure it goes back in because it'll just rape the battery. I grew up with an aptitude for writing, but I had no one to sort of really nurture it.
Yeah.
And like I would have loved to have a sort of Kenny Hall, you know, in terms of, you know, writing, putting pen to paper and saying, hey, try this way, try that way. And the way that I took notes was through reading. And I'm pretty sure that, like, you know, in your community that you're in, you probably have someone saying, hey, you want to do something cool in whatever language you're working in, be it C#, Unity, whatever. Yeah. They can say, try this, and it probably streamlines up a certain process for you.
Definitely. Yeah, and you know, there's always growth opportunities. That's the thing that like no matter what industry you're in, like you always want to be learning, right? Like that's that's the thing. Like coming into development, I did not realize like how cutthroat of a community it could be. Yeah, it's not the worst, but there are a lot of people out there who are willing to, do whatever it takes to get a job. But at this point, we are like developers in such high demand. Like I've had a couple of job offers like in the past, like, I don't know, 6 months to a year. And, they just find me on like LinkedIn or whatever and start sending me emails. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, I guess I could have a fallback if I needed it, but like that's not why you do what you do.
True. Yeah. Well, I feel like if you start for the money, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. And, like you probably heard, like, I think on the last podcast, I talked about, how great my job was and all that stuff. I've, got a great job where I'm very fortunate. They don't care that we drink at our desks. They buy us coffee every morning and stuff like that. So like, I've got it fucking made.
I'm doing things wrong.
I could have told you that a long time ago, man.
Could have. You did tell me I was doing it wrong. I just didn't listen. I wanted that RT at the end of my name.
Yeah, I don't have any cool initials at the end of my name besides HALL, which is my last name.
I mean, that's
okay, I guess.
At least people know how to say it, because I always get, hey, is Matt Kyle here?
Yeah. I give my last name like a 2 out of 5, but
2 out of 5. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's okay.
Imagine Alex Navarro of Giant Bomb writing about that. Okay. Anyway, so I just have a couple of dumb questions.
Yeah,
Kenny,
far away.
If you don't mind indulging me. If you had the opportunity to write any game, leave license, plot, mechanics out of it, like, and nothing. Everything is your call. What type of game would you write? You don't have to give me like, well, this character would be named Jasper, and he would, what's your jam?
The game I want to build is I want to do an isometric RPG.
Okay. So we're talking Diablo.
Similar to more similar to either like the original Baldur's Gate games from BioWare.
All right, I'm with you. All right.
Maybe closer to Divinity, Original Sin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you have my heart.
Yeah. So like BioWare, the old school BioWare games were like, I love those fucking games.
They're amazing.
Yeah, they were fucking incredible. And then, like I've said this before, Divinity Original Sin was basically like a love letter to me, like from Larian Studio. And then Divinity Original Sin 2 just was like another love letter.
It's a love letter with a boner in on steroids.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's great.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I want to make, is an isometric RPG. And that's what I've been learning how to do mostly with Unity is stuff focused on that.
Okay.
And the good thing is those are usually lower overhead because you can reuse assets and a bunch of other stuff. So it's good. Yeah.
Well, I feel like RPGs in general, you have the liberty of reusing assets. It's just, I think it sort of depends on whether or not you're worried about outside personalities calling you out on it.
Sure. Yeah. Like I think that the realization I've come to, like, with being a part of a like what's called agile development team and all that stuff, like knowing that I'm only one person, and if I can if I can get more people interested and get more people working on the project, then that's great. But for me right now, I just have to be okay with sometimes I'm going to have to use assets from the asset store slightly modified, and that's okay because I don't have, I've only got a finite number of hours I can work on things. So, that's just the way it is until I can build whatever I want, like build a team or get funded, basically.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
And then if someone were to say to you, Kenny Hall, in person, online, whatever, I'm thinking about developing, what is your response?
Well, I need a bit more context. Like, do you mean like think about developing like games or
like me personally, and I know Corey as well, we've thought about making games.
Yeah.
Rather than just saying, hey, I'd like to make a game like Super Mario.
Yeah.
But like I remember there was a conversation between one of my best friends and mine. His name's Jason. He lives in Chicago. Great guy. We actually sort of talked out like a game.
Yeah.
Through a conversation. And I'm like, I kind of want to develop that. But me personally, Matthew Keel, my one problem is I'm afraid to learn to code. So
coding can be a bit of a bear at first. I think the most important thing I tell everyone is don't be afraid to ask questions. No one's going to think you're stupid. No, like, because dude, like, I'm not joking you. Whenever I started writing code, there's something called iteration. It's super simple. It's a super simple concept. It basically means you're taking something and looping over it.
Okay.
Dude, it took me a year before I understood what the hell that was. And I was writing iterative code. Like I was writing code that used iterations, and I had no idea what the fuck it was doing. I was just always amazed that it worked. But like, I was always afraid to ask people, hey, what does this do? And then I stumbled across a video that explained it really well, and I learned from that. So like in the beginning, I was very shy because I was very headstrong about, I'm this, I have to be the smartest person in the room. But
yeah,
after a while, you just get broken down so many times that you just realize, hey, it's okay not to know everything. And that's fine. Like now, if I don't know something, like I have like a timer on my desk that says 30 minutes. If I hit 30 minutes without being able to find the answer, I go and ask another dev on the team for help to help me figure out and get me unstuck so I can move on and help, push throughput of like my code out. But yeah, it's very important to be humble and just to be open to honest feedback, and don't separate yourself from your code, understanding that people aren't critiquing you, they're critiquing what you wrote. And they're not trying to be harsh, they're trying to help. Like I've gotten some
criticism.
Yeah. I've gotten some people pretty upset at me whenever I said, hey, this could be better. You could have done it this way. And and then they fire back at me like really pissed off because I told them, hey, you didn't write comments where you should have. And, you could have condensed these 4 lines of code down to 2. And, then they're yelling at me because, I'm the jerk who told them how to make themselves better. And that's not cool.
Well, I feel like there was an old SNL bit where Colin Quinn was hosting the Weekend Update where he was talking about Jacob Dylan being mad at being Bob Dylan's son, saying, Dad, you don't understand me or my music. And the dad just says, I'm Bob Dylan. And I feel like, and I'm the first person to admit that fault. Like, when I did my top 20 list for 2017, I had my girlfriend look at it. When I was married, I used to have my ex-wife look at it, and I would be the first person to be just completely reactionary to any feedback.
Yeah.
But I sort of preempted both of them and said, hey, this is how I'm going to react to this. No matter what you say, I'm going to hate it. And then I need to sleep on it and think about it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I start thinking about it rationally.
Yeah. The issue with development is you don't normally have that time, that
exactly.
time for that feedback loop. Like usually like honestly, things move so quickly in development. You're like, today I worked on code that probably won't be pushed out this week, but I rebuilt an entire plugin in like a week and a half. And like, I realized halfway through rebuilding it that I'm going to have to start all over because I fucked up something at the beginning. And that sucks, but someone caught it, and now I'm going to rebuild that thing. In
Development's a roguelike, apparently.
So yeah, it's fun, but you do have to have that ability to have thick skin and to be able to take constructive criticism really well, and to understand that it's not personal. Everyone's trying to help you, and just know that at the core, that's what it is.
There's a goal in place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the goal is usually not to shut another person down, or
I mean, it's production, right? Like with game development, I'm looking at myself going, oh man, my throughput is terrible. So I'm not very fast at making games right now. I'm fucking terrible at it. But I'm doing things like taking courses and stuff to learn how to be faster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm kind of fascinated and jealous by your journey.
I know. I'm kind of like, I've always wanted to like make games. Like I really have. And I even told Matt, like we did a whole fireside chat on.
Oh yeah. Talking about making games. Oh man.
Yeah. Talking about making games and how I downloaded Unity and how I was going to like try to teach myself at least something. And man, that was probably the hardest thing I ever didn't learn. You know, like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't have my brain, the way my brain works is like, you know, when I was, I don't know, probably 10 years ago at this point, and I still have all these things, like I have game dev docs and I have like a whole notebook full of character designs and like weapons and RPG mechanics and things that I wanted to do if I ever got to the point where like maybe I would make a game someday. And, you know, I still have that somewhere. It's probably in my parents' basement somewhere in a box, but like,
yeah,
you know, I've always been fascinated with like designing games from an artistic standpoint. And like, I don't know how, you know, that really works in terms of like, how does your art translate to the programming side, to the, you know, do you just build assets in a separate program and import them? And then you move, like, you know, like I love drawing and I love technology, but I never really fully understood how to meld the two, you know?
So let me kind of give you some advice my boss gave me when I first started all this. Cause I met my two bosses and I was a cocky little son of a bitch. I'll admit that. I was super, super arrogant. And they broke.
Okay. No. Don't say those words, because I cannot see you as an arrogant individual.
Oh, I was. And
there's nothing in our interactions, the three.
Arrogant in Tennessee means he doesn't say please and thank you. Maybe.
Oh, no. So anyway, so
like you're right next to Tennessee. Help me out here.
But they broke me from that. They talked to me, they kind of mentored me and got me to the place where I was able to, you know, accept criticism and all that stuff. But the thing that's most important to remember is anyone can fucking do this. Like, I know that development seems scary and hard, but like I was a kid who had like I was in special needs classes when I was in like middle school. Like I had like problems learning, and you know, I'm sitting here doing this. So like if anyone,
I'm a special needs adult.
But yeah, like honestly, like anyone can do this stuff, and like I say that as being 100% real and being 100% honest. Like it is something that I really think that with the right teacher or just having the drive to do it, you can do it. You just have to be willing to be honest with yourself.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's something I still would like to try to teach myself at some point. And
Corey can draw. I've seen it. He can draw.
Yeah.
And if you need art, just Corey.
I'll keep that in mind for sure. The thing was like
Kenny, Corey can draw.
I did just make a whole personal portfolio website about my art, but
CoreyDeering.com. It's there.
Yeah,
it's true.
Send me a link to that. So the cool thing with like Unity and all the artistic stuff, the way that works is you have a couple different steps, right? Like the best way I've heard this described is how do you eat an elephant, like one bite at a time. So taking each step, like with, you know, if you're wanting to do 3D, you start off with something like Blender or Maya, and you just like import the picture of your art, and then you start building the sculpture right next to it. So once you have it all sculpted, then you can go and lay the bones, then you can start adding animations, and then you import it into something like Unity and add keyframes, which will allow you to like interact with the world. So like step by step, each part you're learning something new, but once you learn that one thing, you don't have to relearn it, if that makes sense.
I'll be honest with you, from my experience editing films, like when you said keyframes, I knew exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh, that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, like with
keyframes and Final Cut Pro, learning that concept is
and like even for me still like learning how to make a listener in C# that's waiting for that keyframe to happen and then firing an event of like a firing code that runs an event that then spawns other things to happen. That shit's hard. That stuff's still really tough for me now. Like basic weapon attacks. Like if a character hits another character, finding that, at frame 27 is when the weapon's going to make contact. Okay, now I need to fire this event listener that says, okay, this keyframe's hit. I need to deal damage to this enemy. Take away 21 damage from this enemy. All right, now we need to store that in a variable, return it back over to the main data structure, and then keep everything running. Like that stuff is really complex and confusing. And it gets tough. Like it's not an easy thing, but it's really cool.
And then it makes you think about games like Super Meat Boy, where the minute damage is dealt, your character's dead.
Yeah,
it's like, I see why they did that now.
Yeah, and like honestly, like games like that, like I look at them and like while they're simplistic in design, like I don't imagine there was a lot of dev time that went into that. I would think most of that was like level design time. So, it's one of those things. It's also a blessing and a curse because the deeper you go down this hole, the more you start realizing how much is reused in video games. And it's kind of disheartening sometimes when you see like lazy dev practices. So,
right. But see, the funny thing is, like with a game like Super Meat Boy, you could point out the lazy dev practices.
And I'm not saying that that's a good example.
No. And I'm not pinning you to that, but like the funny thing is, like as someone who's played and beat every stage of that game multiple times, like I can see where they sort of hit it.
Yeah.
Like and I'm from a filmmaking background, so I know how to sort of hide microphones, hide I don't want to say the directorial staff, but like the people that are involved in not screen roles.
Yeah.
Like I know how to hide that stuff. And I feel like there's so much of that oddly that translates to video games in a way that I did not see till you started talking. So
there absolutely
I appreciate that.
Yeah, there's a ton of tricks and stuff like that for hiding like transition of cameras, like when you're transitioning between like gameplay and cutscene, like knowing how to do that smoothly. Like the Uncharted series did that super well to the point where you almost couldn't tell that those were FMV movies that were playing.
Yeah. Well, what I liked personally, and I know you're a giant Bomb fan.
Yeah.
When they were talking about Guilty Gear Xrd sign.
Yeah, Xrd, like whatever.
And like that sort of stole their style category one year. They're like, wow, how did a fighting game steal this category? A fighting game that no one had really played. Then they saw this cutscene like, oh my God, yeah, that wins.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like that's sort of what conjured in my head.
Yeah.
But personally, and I'm pretty sure I can speak for Corey and Moose, thank you for talking to us about that.
Yeah.
Because it's piqued my interest a bit. I hope it has at least sort of increased their understanding of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fascinating to like listen to somebody that actually knows, what they're doing, talk about it instead of like, I'm sure if you went back to Matt and I's fireside chat on talking about making games, you might cringe a little bit.
Oh yeah, no, we're stupid. But like, well, see, the funny thing is, like, since that, like, I've tried to reach out to developers, and I admit this is a crux around the neck, but like, I've tried to reach out to developers I respect, and they they've sort of said, hey, we don't really have time for a podcast right now, but thank you for, thank you for putting us on that pedestal.
Yeah.
And that's cool as hell. The fact that I even get a response rather than just being straight up ignored, because I'm not Podcast Beyond. I'm not Giant Bomb. I'm not the Jimquisition. I'm not, one of the big personalities, but they took the time to say, hey, appreciate it. And, but I don't have time right now. And then fucking Moose and his Nerds Gone Platinum buddies get the developers of Fallen Legion. Yes, I'm jealous, Moose. Deal with it. But like, I would love, and I'm actually just full of just complete warm feelings that you talk to us about this.
Yeah, no problem.
Because as someone who loves video games, I don't know a lot about how they're made.
Honestly, it's probably better if you're not going to go all the way in. I would say it's probably better that way.
But see now shit like that makes me want to go further in without developing a game myself, because I'm kind of like Danny O'Dwyer on NoClip.
No Clip.
I want to know where I want to know how that happens.
Yeah.
And believe me, I'm pretty sure Derek Yu has blocked me on Twitter because I have asked him. I'll be like, hey, would you talk to me about game development? It'd just be you and me one-on-one. You don't have to worry about anybody going, hey, Derek Yu's a moron. I just want to know. And like, personally, I may never actually okay, no, that's being too generous. I will most likely never develop a video game. If I were in a situation where
not with that attitude, you won't.
Shut up, Moose. You're not helping. If I were to be involved in writing a story or writing branching paths to a story, I would be totally down for that, because that's how you get my endorphins going.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily coding a little icon to jump or move or whatever.
Yeah.
Like if you want a story, that's how you get these gears a turning. But like, I may never actually make a game, but I would love to help someone write a game.
Yeah.
I would love to say, hey, here's an idea for a story. What do you think of that? And have them say, no, that sucks. Okay, I'll try something else.
Yeah.
Like that's how my gears turn.
Yeah. No, that's totally, everyone's different. That's the thing. Like one thing that I've realized over the past couple of years with working with development and stuff is everyone has skills that they're good at and that they're bad at. I'm very, very bad at art. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm good at it. Like, I can make things that are functional because I know how to like manipulate data. But like, as far as actually making something pretty, I can't do that. That's just something I'm bad at, and that's okay. You're on my screen. You're pointing at me, so that's.
Well, I'm
that's
pointing at Corey. I'm trying to point at Corey.
So that's a bad example, but yeah,
he did a really good drawing of Supergirl, and if there's no other way for me to ascertain that he has skill with a pen or pencil and creating a picture, that's all I've got, and I believe in him. So if you want something pretty,
talk to him.
Yeah,
we'll do.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Feel like I've done my job this show.
Yeah.
Moose, Corey, you guys were pretty quiet during that segment.
I was just listening and enjoying it.
Hey man, look, that like listening to somebody that knows what they're talking about, and me I'm not even smart enough to know what questions to ask. Like,
right.
I mean, in learning, like just listening to somebody talk about that stuff and that actually knows what they're talking about, and like, you know, we make dumb jokes that probably make people cringe that know what they're talking about, but like, you know, just listening makes me like,
us?
I feel like I'm staring at the staring at the Udemy icon on my computer right here, and I'm like, maybe it is time. Maybe it's time.
Balls deep, Corey. Balls deep.
Yeah.
If you guys have any questions, feel free to ping me. I'm always up for answering stuff. And like I said, I love helping people. So
we're gonna make a Nerds Gone Rogue RPG.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And it was probably something that the Comedy Button people will still call racist because they haven't checked out our content.
Yeah, it's true. It's okay.
That was a funny little dilemma.
I know.
Okay, so gentlemen, it is almost 11:45. Kenny, you still good?
yeah, I'm good.
All right, Moose, you all right?
Yeah, let's do 20 questions.
Corey,
Yeah.
Corey, how are you, sir?
How am I? What do you mean? How am I? I'm great.
Good.
I'm awake. I want to do some 20 questions.
Okay.
Bring it home.
All right,
Bring it
good.
home. All right.
I thought we were restarting the show. Maybe you forgot to hit record or something and like restarting. You asked me how I was doing.
I mean,
Concerned.
Well, we've only been recording for like 3 minutes. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, well.
So Corey, you are probably the most articulate between Moose and I because Moose just doesn't have the interest. Tell Kenny how 20 questions works now because the last time he was on, it was just the wild west.
It's true. All right, Kenny. Here's the deal.
Streamlined it.
We've streamlined and made the rules. We've actually made rules for 20 questions. So
yeah,
Okay.
we segment 5 questions apiece. We go 5 questions, 5 questions, 5 questions, 5 questions. 30 seconds a question. But in between each set of 5 questions, we get a 2-minute huddle to discuss what we've learned in the previous 5 questions.
Okay.
And then
at 20,
after the 20th question.
yes, the 20th question, you get 5 minutes, and then you get to guess. You get your guess. So technically, like the 20th question is not your guess. You get 20 questions, and then you have 5 minutes to convene and say, "Hey guys, this is what it is. This is what it is." Boom. All right.
Okay.
And throw it out there. All right. How it works is it's my game of the week. All right, who's going to keep track of the questions, number of questions? Because I can
I'll
do
keep
that.
track of
You'll
questions.
keep track. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I'll say, Kenny, your turn. You're going to be up number 1 because you're the guest. I'm going to go, Kenny. You're on the clock, and I'll start the 30-second clock. Okay. So you will not. The timer does not start until I say to you, it's your turn. You're ready to go. All right.
Okay.
So, everybody ready?
Kenny,
Down.
me, Corey, got it.
Okay, yeah. So be Kenny, you, Corey. I've got the game. All right, Kenny, you ready?
Yep.
Here we go. And 30 seconds and start.
Okay. Is it an RPG?
No.
Okay. Did it come out on the PS2?
Whoa.
Am I already breaking rules?
One question. sir.
Oh, I thought you said 5 questions in a row.
No.
Oh, God damn it. I'm so confused.
All right, here's the thing. Each person gets 30 seconds to ask their questions. There's 5 questions. After 5 questions are asked, there's a 2-minute interval. Then there's another 5 questions, 2-minute interval.
God
Another
damn
5 questions, 2-minute intervals. It's okay. 5 questions, and then you get the 5.
Look, Kenny,
Okay.
Kenny, you're good in game development. Let us handle 20 questions.
All right. So, Matt, it's your turn, correct?
Yes, it is my turn.
All right,
I hope his next game he develops is 20 questions. 20 questions out.
You ready?
Kenny, that idea is free. Did this game come out after January 1st, 2000?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Go.
Did this game originally come out during the beginning of the HD era or later?
I need you to clarify that.
We Xbox 360, PS3.
Okay, so your question was, did it come out during the...
Was it initially released during the HD era?
But aren't we in the HD era now?
Yes.
I'm asking if it was released like in the Wii 360 PS3 generation or later.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So,
Kenny.
it's back to you.
All right.
30 seconds.
Did this game come out in the past 5 years?
Hold, please. Sorry.
Look at his
yes.
glasses. Look at his eyes.
Remember, 2013 is 5 years ago.
Yes, it did. All right. Matt, are you ready?
Okay, so
Now here's how it works. This is the 5th question. Once he asks that and gets the answer,
we get a 2-minute.
I'll tell you all the 2 minutes is going. All right, you ready? So 30 seconds starting now.
So we know it's not an RPG. Came out in the HD era. It came out in the last 5 years. Is this an indie game?
Yes.
Okay, it's an indie game that came out in the last 5 years.
So you guys get 2 minutes starting now.
Okay.
Indie games that came out last 5 years.
That aren't RPGs. That's a lot of them.
Well, Supergiant, that's who we could look at.
Yeah, but their games are kind of RPGs, right?
No, they're not. Not really, because here's the thing. Like what I think, Transistor's not really an RPG because you can shift everything and you're supposed to play
Minute and 30.
a certain way.
Okay.
But let's not get hung up on that.
Yeah.
It's probably Transistor just because you said that.
If it's Transistor, I'm going to drive to North Carolina and punch Moose in the face. And then I'll
I wonder if it's Lemmings.
Fuck you, asshole.
I'm trying to think of okay. I don't know at this point.
Well,
1 minute.
So we could think of is it Eastern, Western developed?
Yeah.
If it's an indie game, it's probably most likely Western developed.
Yeah.
True.
Third
person perspective, first person perspective.
Yeah. Is it an action game?
See, action, I feel like you have to narrow more than just action games.
Fair enough.
Technically, because by the Giant Bomb scale, first person shooters are action games.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you want to try to narrow down genre? But I don't want to get stuck in that loop of
Well, I feel like if we attack this on multiple, one of us attacks it genre, one of us attacks it console, and one of us attacks it
art style, maybe.
Art style is a good one. Mechanic style is a good one. I was 5.
Okay, so
I think it's me.
it is you.
Kenny was first. It's Corey.
Right. So you ready, Corey? And go.
Which direction do you want me to take, Matt? All right. I'm just gonna.
Also, say developer.
Oh, jeez.
Go Western, Eastern, Western.
I think we already know it's a Western. Is this a Western developed game?
I'm actually looking at it right now because I knew that would be a question.
You're welcome.
Hold on a second.
Western normally meaning just outside of Japan, usually.
I would say yes, it is.
Okay.
He would say yes.
Yes, it is.
Who's
All
that?
right.
Kenny?
Perspective or mechanics, Kenny? Pick your poison.
Perspective or mechanics? All right.
So hold on a second. So
Whoa.
Whoa now. Ready, set, 30 seconds.
Okay. Is this a third-person game?
No.
So it's a first-person game.
Or a puzzle?
All right.
Or a puzzle.
Well, if you remember correctly, we had established a couple of episodes ago that third person perspective.
No.
So it's not a
You
third
can
person perspective Gears of War thing.
Nope.
That's what you're saying?
It's not.
Okay.
I would consider Diablo and Super Meat Boy both third person games.
I agree because that's how third person works. But we have enough arguments in this. Is this a first person game, Moose? That's my question. Yes. Okay.
I was telling you no, that it is not third person in any of the aspects you're talking about. Yes, but
you interrupted my sentence. Please don't do that.
First person game. First person.
Corey, Kenny's up.
All right, ready?
It's me.
Oh, it is Corey.
Yeah. Now.
First person indie game. Shoot. Okay. Western Belt. Man, I'm thinking something like Super Hot, Gone Home. Walking sim. Yeah, is this a walking simulator?
No.
Could be. So that Gone Home's out. Tacoma's out.
Edith Finch is out.
Soma's out.
Everybody's Gone to the Rapture's out.
Mm-hmm.
So
who's up next? I believe it's back to Kenny.
I think it's Kenny.
All right. Ready? 30 seconds. Starting now.
Well, if it's not a walking sim, we could go combat.
Is the art style, is it 2D or 3D?
I like it.
3D.
Okay. I'm waiting Super Hot.
Thank you, Moose, for just sort of indulging Kenny's question rather than make him say, "Is this a make it say it as a yes or no question?"
Sorry.
No. Kenny, he fell for the trap. It's fine.
Is that 9 or 10?
This is going to be 10.
This is 10? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all you. You ready?
You want to ask about combat?
Start it now.
Go.
So, do you want me to eliminate? You want me to go after Super Hot right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Does this game's time stop according to the player's movement?
No.
Not Super Hot then.
So you have 2 minutes starting now.
Okay. I'm thinking possibly Slime Rancher.
I was thinking that too, believe it or not.
That's a 3D game that's first person.
What about No Man's Sky? What about Morphight?
Yeah. But is No Man's Sky an RPG in a sense?
No.
I think it's a survival game.
You don't level up skills in No Man's Sky.
Fair enough.
You could ask about like resource collecting, survival, planet hopping.
Yeah.
Does this game take place in space?
Yeah. Well, technically every game takes place in space, Matt.
Yeah.
Earth is.
Do you travel in this? Like, do you travel planet to planet?
BioShock does not take place in space.
Technically, it does.
Because it takes place on Earth.
Yes.
And Earth is in space. That's not the same thing.
BioShock is not an indie shooter.
Word.
We Happy Few is.
It is. It's a good point.
It's not out yet, though.
It's in early access. It's on Xbox. You can buy it right now.
And if Moose is going to use that as his thing, I'm calling bullshit, and we're just negating this 20 questions.
You're
PUBG
correct.
is technically out.
Technically an indie.
But it's published by Tencent.
Well, it was built by Bluehole, though, which is an indie.
Built by, not published by.
20 seconds.
I think to narrow down the mechanics a little bit more.
Yeah. I'm still leaning like, I don't know, survival style games. Whoa. Someone's gonna swerve off the expressway listening to that beep.
All right. Who's
James
up?
Gunn Rogue is
the
not
bus full
responsible
of
for
nuns.
your accidents.
Who's up?
I think it's Corey again.
Is it me?
30 seconds.
Kenny, me, Corey. Yeah, so it's Corey.
Okay. Is there resource collecting in this game?
No.
Okay.
Not No Man's Sky.
No.
Kenny.
So Kenny? Is Kenny up?
Yeah.
Okay. Still haven't asked about combat yet.
Yeah. Do you shoot people in this game?
No. Matt, are you ready?
Go ahead.
Go.
Jesus.
Matt's
I'm having problems using my left hand to type. This is not a walking simulator. You do not shoot people.
ask about solving puzzles similar to Portal, because there's a couple games that are similar to Portal that aren't Portal. Like Turing Test. That game that just came out on Switch.
I need a question.
Is this a puzzle game?
Yes.
Okay, The Witness.
True. That's a good
Yep.
one.
Whose turn is it?
Portal didn't come out in the last 5 years, though.
I'm not talking about Portal. I said Portal like games.
Okay, so that's Quantum Conundrum.
Yeah.
That's the only other one.
Okay, so The Witness is a good guess right now, I think, right? Do you want me to ask if it takes place on an island?
Yes.
Does this game take place on an island?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, how do we get it narrowed down to The Witness?
Kenneth? Kenneth? Your turn.
All right. Is this game very brightly colored?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like that leans The Witness even harder.
Yeah. Okay, so we have 2 minutes to decide how we can narrow this down to The Witness.
Are the puzzles predominantly lines?
That's a good one.
Is there a
Yeah.
record player in this game? Because The Witness has a record player that starts its final puzzle. Is this predominantly the mind of one guy? Because The Witness is. Is there predominantly left-leaning politics all over the place in this game? There is in The Witness.
I love when Matt drinks just one too many beers and he starts getting into these.
Dude, I've had like
super
4 too many. I've had like 4
sophisticated questions.
I am thinking, fucking, why do I do this whenever Moose is the game? Because I'm always fucking useless. Kenny, I'm so glad you're here because I am.
Chroma Gun is the Portal-like game on Switch, by the way.
What?
Chroma Gun is the game that's like Portal on Switch.
1 minute.
I was trying to figure out what it was. And it's really brightly colored and it takes place on an island. I just want to throw that out there.
Well, I don't know about Quantum Conundrum. I'm pretty sure it's brightly colored. I don't know if it takes place on an island. And I do know that the main developer on that game worked on Portal.
We need to ask, does the main character use a gun? Because in The Witness, he never touches a gun, correct?
True. Yeah. No, that's correct.
Doesn't the Talos Principle take place on an island?
No.
He's trying to throw us off.
What if he said, never mind, this game does not take place on an island?
15
right.
seconds.
All right. I think we can erase those last 15 seconds and just go.
Whose turn is it?
I think it's yours, Kenny.
No, it's mine.
Oh, it's Matt's
All right.
turn. I'm sorry.
Ready, Matt? 30 seconds.
Okay. Does the player ever touch a gun in this game?
No.
Okay, so
Corey?
the puzzles are like dots, right? I haven't played The Witness.
Line puzzles.
Are the puzzles in this game lines? Are they line puzzles? Do people bust out
Do
graph
you
paper?
draw lines from one thing to another in this game?
Yes.
Okay. Kenny?
Is there a lot of
feel like Kenny
foliage
played The
on the
Witness.
island?
Yes.
It's The Witness.
I know. I'm kind of feeling like it's The Witness.
Jonathan Blow developed this game.
Is that your question?
Yes.
Yes.
Corey, fucking seal this shit.
Is this The Witness?
Yes.
Yes!
Yes!
Corey, we're one behind him.
Yes!
I'm so
Webcam
excited.
5.
Wait, no. Matt, you're one behind me.
Corey and I are tied.
What?
Yeah, we're tied.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, after that bullshit that Corey saved you in last episode with the Lemmings, I'm still pissed off at him about, but he redeemed himself by putting me closer to you. So, yeah. And Kenny, thank you for coming on this journey with us. You have no idea how much you helped us.
I had two games in mind, and I was like, you know what? I'll try The Witness, and the other one I think I should have went with.
What was the other one?
I'll probably use it later.
Yeah, even I'm laughing because Corey, that's a dumb idea. But I will say this.
Trying to throw 'em off.
I will say this. I had two games I was going to use for my next one, and Moose just used one of them.
I was trying to use Matt's library against him. That's the whole reason that I picked The Witness. Because I was like,
All right.
that's pretty good. It's pretty good. But anyways, it is midnight.
True.
Some people
Yeah.
have to go to work tomorrow. I'll probably have to get up early to help my wife move around the house.
I got
Take care.
I gotta work at 7 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
I've got to be in by like 10:30 or 11.
I wish I could be in by that time, but
I get it.
is awesome.
I get it, Kenny. You're awesome. Shut up.
I'm
No, but seriously, with 20 questions ending, Corey and I getting another point on the board and one closer to Moose. Kenny, thank you so much for helping us. Where can we find you, sir?
Not really anywhere socially right now. So I'm still working on building a new website, and you can still find me on Twitter at Kenny in the Wilds.
Okay. So you're nowhere socially. You want to just come back here next week? That's cool.
Next week won't work. I will be drugged up on pain medications. And
Well,
That
I
could be
mean,
a fun
all right.
show.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you're just entering into a sociological experiment at this point. I say you do it. No, do you? I know I'm not going to go into it all here, but you've said some things in our personal chat, so I'm not going to disclose that.
Sure.
But do what you need to do, and just know, regardless of anything that may ever happen, you are always welcome on Nerds Gone Rogue, sir.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Now, you're predominantly Steam, correct?
Yeah, I play some I've been playing the new Dragon Ball Z Fighter on PS4, but like
Anybody wants to find you on Steam or PS4 for that matter.
I think I'm the Space Kenny 1987 on PS4, and I don't know what my Steam handle is, honestly.
That's cool. Because I don't know what my Switch handle is, and people can kind of go F themselves. But so I do have a question, just a side question, not to deter things anymore. I'm having a conflict as to whether or not I should buy Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Yeah.
Do you think I should?
Do you like fighting games?
I do.
Then yes.
Okay.
It's simple enough that it's
Specifically, I like Arc System Works games.
yeah, it's simple but deep. Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what, Kenny? You just did what the Nerds Gone Rogue community could not. They could not convince me not to buy this game.
I told you to buy it.
I'm talking about the community as a whole. Just because you were the one lone voice saying buy it rather than whichever one of you or Corey was using the Nerds Gone Rogue account. I don't know which one he was.
That was me.
But see, the problem is I'm going to buy it. I'm not going to be as cool as Alan Heinen, but I think I'm okay making that sacrifice.
That's because you're not in any memes, but we can make that happen.
Please don't. I'm about to, just personal disclosure, I'm about to take my girlfriend to Iowa for the first time to meet the family. Ooh. Don't do memes of me until May. Please. Alan, I'm looking at you, motherfucker.
Hey, Alan. That allows us to build up a lot of memes.
Build up a library. Come at me, bros. I will let you do it. Moose, where can we find you? I'm going to regret this.
SVHENN on PlayStation Network, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also contact me, Jason, and Jeff at NG_Platinum for the Nerds Gone Platinum podcast. Also email us at nerdsgoneplatinum@gmail.com. And you can also listen to me on Nerds Gone Platinum, which goes up every Thursday. I believe at 9 morning.
True, yo.
Morning time sometimes. It's whatever Corey decides to put us up.
I am Matthew Keel. You can find
Thursdays at 10, guys.
Okay, Thursdays. See? Thursdays, I said Thursday mornings, 10 o'clock.
Listen to the goddamn boss, Moose.
It's gone up on time 2 weeks in a row. Okay, I'm on a hot streak here.
I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying Thursday mornings.
No, he's not picking on you. He's pointing at what he doesn't know.
Exactly. Thank you. So just move along.
I am Matthew Keel. You can find me at Infinite_Rewind on PS4, Twitter, and Instagram. I actually posted on Instagram for the first time today. I got off work early. I posted a vinyl of that right behind me, Clash London Calling. It was a good time. I posted in the Tasty Beer Thursday group. All of a sudden, I was a social media just Adonis, whatever that means. I don't know.
Butterfly. You were social media.
Sure,
butterfly,
that too. I was a butterfly Adonis on social media. I don't know. That's where you can find me. I have a Switch. You can find me there. I don't memorize that because 12 things is too much. So message me on PSN, message me on Instagram, Twitter, and I will liberally tell you what my Switch code is. I've been playing Super Meat Boy a lot. I've been playing Mighty Gunvolt Burst a lot, but although I haven't done that since the last episode. If you want to co-op Neo, let me know. I will do it. Kenny, you want to play a Souls game?
I'll let you know.
You can let any one of the other 3 people on this panel, and we will help. On Nerds Gone Rogue this week, because this is Monday, I think we're talking about Bloodborne on Wednesday, and mentioned it to the girlfriend. She was cool with it, so let's just do it.
Nice.
I'm off all day Wednesday, so the earlier we start, the longer we go. Like the porn industry. Corey, take us home.
You can find me at CoreyNHD on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Nintendo Power Block, which is our Nintendo show.
Hell yeah.
Various other places on youtube.com/NGR Radio. Thank you, everybody, for subscribing. We hit our first goal of 100 subs on YouTube, so we got that sweet URL.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And now our next goal is 500, because apparently something else cool happens when you hit that number. So, new goal.
I like cool stuff.
Yeah. Check out our website, ngrradio.com. We've written some stuff. I'm writing some stuff that's going up this week. So,
just
check out our
posted
website.
My top 20 of 2017, and I'm actually really proud of how that turned out. I feel like
you got jealous of my top 10 games of 20.
I did, but like I had been working on my top 20 albums of 2017 since like mid-December, and it came to like I started doing it very modularly, where instead of trying to get the entire piece out, I just worked on a number until it was finished, and I'm really satisfied. Like that's one of the like there are probably 4 pieces that I've ever been like super happy with and would use in a portfolio, and that is one of them. So I'm proud of my piece, and hopefully, you know, if a Nerds Gone Rogue reader decides to read it, hopefully we can get into discussion, because I love talking about music, and Moose and Corey don't talk about music. They hate it when
there's a couple people we should just put
wait a second.
A show with you about.
Wait a second.
We can talk some music here.
I like talking music.
Moose, more often than not, you've said my music taste is shit. So therefore, I'm letting you out.
No.
I love you. No, you're done. Done.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. And as Moose
Smart hosting.
We love you.
And out. Yeah, right there. There we go. And out. And I have to stop the live recording, so I'm just gonna hold this and be awkward because I can. Yeah.
The fuck is that voice?
Sometimes I think I should just get a different co-host.
Well, the thing about mom jokes is, for me, my friend Brianna and I in X-ray school, all we did was the world's grossest mama jokes.
Okay.
And I actually pulled one on her during a lab final with our program director, 2 of her assistants, and I think her lab partner and my lab partner just sort of watching.
Mm-hmm.
And like she laid down on the X-ray table, because the way you do in X-ray school, you have to actually prove that you could do the positions. So, you know, one student will practice on the other. Well, anyway, Brianna lays down, and for some reason, she decides to rest her leg on the tube,
Mm-hmm.
which is about, you know, her leg's at about like an 80, 90 degree angle off the table. And I said, oh, look at Brianna. Her leg goes up just like her mother once she lays down. Program director, both assistants had to turn around and hide their laughter. And I was, and she, and like, I look at her face is beet red. She's like, you mother. And I'm like, you're welcome. Go get your A. And she did.
Nice. Very nice.
Man, I'm getting old.
All right, Matt. It's been
That's why I have beer. It's fine.
I don't think that's how that works.
It's fine. At least it's not milk, because milk was a bad choice. Okay, hang on. Hang on. All right, we're doing this in Scrubs. Okay.
All right. So
Welcome to Nerds Gone Rogue. I am dying. No, I'm kidding. Corey, do the B-side. I'll do the main show, if that's all right.
that's
Unless, Moose, do you want to do the main show?
No.
Lies.
all right. Are we recording?
I don't know. What do you see in the top right of your screen other than text?
I don't know. I was reading an article on my laptop. I wasn't looking at my screen. Oh, it says live. Okay.
Our fearless leader, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Every success story needs a dumbass. Am I right?
That's why you have me, though.
Well,
Well, you both can be the dumbasses, and I'll be the sisters.
Matt, you're one cheek, I'm the other, and Moose is the crack.
Yeah. That's why his goatee is brown. Am I right? Oh!
Ow! That was, can I say, corny?
That was corny.
Oh.
It's a bit nutty.
All right. B-side topic. All right, I'm just gonna throw it to Moose. So okay. Don't hit stop.
I did. I was thinking about it. I'm not gonna lie.
Are we in between shows right now?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna run and use the restroom. Yeah.
Cool.
Go ahead.
Right back.
Rock on, man. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get some Celestin right now.
How you like it? That game is freaking awesome, man.
Yeah.
Matt, you need to try it because you
No,
love
I know.
Super
No,
Meat
I know.
Boy.
I know. I've seen.
Dude. Oh, it's so good. It's so
Like,
good.
I
feel
had.
like it's a natural progression of where a new Super Meat Boy game would go. Like it just feels so cool to play.
It does feel good.
Like I love it. I mean, I've got it on PS4. I bought it on PS4 for like the both of us because we game
Right.
share.
Yeah.
So,
No, I
I
know.
was like-
I chose like I between yesterday and today and like my downtime, I've seen enough of Celeste that I'm like, oh, this is gonna be one of them. Like, it's funny that this came out like after we had talked about what sort of causes us to pull the trigger on purchasing.
Yeah.
I know that we share Moose, but I might end up just throwing that development.
I might pick it up on Switch too.
Yeah,
I might
like-
double buy it because here's my thing. Like everything we talk about, what makes us buy a game, the developer, half of them was the team that did Towerfall Ascension. Towerfall Ascension is awesome. 2D side scroller.
Is it awesome?
Right.
Because like I mean I don't have people that'll play couch co-op with me, so.
Well, neither do I, but I enjoyed what I played of it single player.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a fun game for like parties for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but
All
anyways, so I mean, the developer had a good game prior to it, and then just, I mean, not that IGN is the be all end all, but like a 10 out of 10, and then you're seeing like other good reviews coming out, and that's like Iconoclast.
Yeah.
Like that game's gotten like 9.5 from Destructoid. I think it got a 8.5 or a 9 from GameSpot.
Yeah, that's
And
what
that
I need to
game-
try.
Dude, that game is just freaking doing really, really well, and it's fun. Like it's really cool. It's a really good game. I'm really enjoying it. So, that's that. I've played the most, and then I dabbled a little bit in Monster Hunter. That's it. I haven't even touched my gaming challenge, which I need to talk to Jason. I'm gonna be like, dude, we might need to slow our roll back to like a video every other week, updating that instead of a video every week. You know what I mean? Because I'm not touching any games for my 2018 challenge. So it's like,
now
you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, and I kind of sympathize with you just because, it's been a rough few weeks for you.
I know. I got to do it just because.
But no. I'm not going to tell you have to, but I will say this. I feel like Jason's not going to be sympathetic to you.
Oh no, I don't care. I don't need them to be sympathetic to me.
Okay.
No.
As long
I'm just
as-
saying,
okay.
like, I'm just gonna get on the show when we do the update. I'm just gonna be like, I don't have an update. I haven't touched any of my challenge games for the week. Like that's what it's gonna be, and they can talk about the games, and like that's the thing. And like he's hit the ground running. I think he's about to beat Infamous Second. He wants to beat Infamous Second Son before Thursday, which is the first. Which I think would be his 5th game or 6th game before the first month's even done. So
Yeah.
he's a quarter of the way, through his list, and it's like I understand that he just beat Ratchet and Clank not too long ago. So I mean, it's like Ex Machina, Bulletstorm, Mass Effect, Ratchet and Clank, and now he's gonna be, So I mean, I'm like, that's fine, dude. If you want to hit the ground running like that, that's cool. Like I have till the end of the year to beat 20 games that I have to beat. Like I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna pressure myself if I don't want to. Plus I feel like if I don't get Zelda out of the way, I'm not going to be able to focus on anything else right now. And that's my main thing, is just trying to get Zelda out of the way.
Yeah.
So, plus the only reason I haven't played anything is because my wife and I have been watching so much Friends recently, because she's not feeling really well and just hanging out on the couch or the chair next to me. And so it's like, well, we'll put Friends on and she can sit there and relax and we can watch that. And then I can just sit there and play Zelda while we're doing that. So anyways, we ready to start?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, Matt. Oh, and it's my game this week, motherfuckers.
Oh, jeez. Why do I hate this game so much?
No, you hate it because Moose is winning, and he keeps riding us. Like that's what he does. He's riding our curtails to victory, and then he just picks a game that we can't get. Can he help us?
Hopefully. I think I got this the past 2 times I was on. So
you did. You have.
Listen, I can't help it that Corey pulls it out of his ass every time.
Like
Alien Hominid, and then Matt Phillips helped us with Booger Man, and then
Lemmings.
Lemmings.
I finished that podcast on the way home. I was so angry.
It was good, but anyways, all right.
All right.
Kenny, we're probably going to go to you first on what you're playing after we do our introductions, just so you know you're up. But anyways,
yeah, no, that's fine.
Guest always goes first, but Matt, go ahead.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.